I go by Duck. Great to see everyone. Great to meet everyone. We're going to set up a poll and what else? Who knows? I don't know. We've got community moderation is on, folks. Yeah, so we are running with the full YouTube toolkit today. I'm going to set up a poll, maybe pin a message, and yeah, we'll see where things go, guys. We'll see where it goes today. Um, but yeah, the title of the stream is Former Smart Guy Talks Smart Guy Politics Stuff. And yeah, and I'm just gonna be hanging out here. If you guys want to come say what's up, you guys can obviously see it's a little bit of a casual format, and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see, how do I do this? Um, let's see. There we go. Lamo. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy return to the week. For those operating like me on internet time, good to see you guys. We just chilling. I got a cup of coffee going. Uh, no, it's not that early. It's like noon, but I am a DGen, guys. So I got a fully charged vape. I got some coffee. I myself am chilling. And yeah, the phone's charging for a bit. And so hopefully you guys have audio. Sometimes the audio doesn't start up when I start up. So if you guys can hear me, if someone in chat can say I can hear you or something, that's helpful. Just to alleviate my own worry, concern, and the whatnot with it. And yeah. What else? A new blog out on the Substack. It's not. I don't think it's a harder read, but we're talking about this guy Benjamin Barber, who was a political theorist. We're talking about the old jihad period of the 1990s and early 2000s. So if you guys like reading stuff, consider checking that out at some point in time. Um, and yeah, I put a poll up on. Hey, what's up, British? Good to see you. I put a poll up on my webpage and stuff too on the social media features. So yeah, if you guys ever want to engage me outside of live streams, you guys can always talk to me in the social media features on YouTube. Leave comments. I reply to comments, stuff like that. No British. Oh, British. Brishtim Malakar. Hey, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't read it correctly. I apologize. It's Brishti. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. You're not an idiot. I'm sorry about that. My bad. My name's Nathan or Nate. Good to meet you. Online I go by Duck. The channel is Ducks Y. Hey, Glenn Sharp's back. Hey, what up, brother? Hopefully you're having a good day. It was nice talking yesterday, guys. We're not doing another poll show. I have a poll up, guys. Just something to kind of think about. Cool. Yeah. Shout out to India. I'm in Arizona, the state of Arizona in the United States, southwest, where it's like the southwest region of the United States in the desert. Thank you. Yeah. But if you guys come in and you guys want to carefully read the poll and the questions, the question is, you're embarrassing, says Scorpion King's X. Yeah. Shout out. If you guys want to read the poll question, it's carefully, as well as the selected answers, the possible answers. Feel free to do that, guys. This is a politics channel, philosophy, whatever. We hang out and stuff too, because it's just like a random Monday. But if you guys want to talk about an actual topic and stuff, read the poll carefully, guys. There's qualitative and quantitative selections in the poll, and it's just your opinion. This is an opinion poll. It's most people use freedom to support democracy. So you can either weekly agree or disagree, or if you take a vote on that poll and you look at the qualitative and quantitative side of things, you guys can also more strongly agree or disagree with it. Biden was the second one. I have no idea what that means. Maybe I should be more educated. If you want to explain it to me or anyone in chat, Glenn, feel free. Feel free, guys. You're imaginating. Da 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 da. Probably should elaborate a bit more on the statement. Yeah, I mean, it is just a very subjective. It's just a question, thumping it down. But you're absolutely right. When I think of freedom, I might think of things like constitutionally guaranteed rights, whatever. If you say, but you could also define freedom as, hey, I haven't interacted with someone who enforces laws or coerces me in some time. So yeah, there's no black shirts, no ICE agents, no federal agents, stuff like this. But you also might say, well, it's also no one who's trying to rob me, steal my stuff, someone who's trying to keep me where I am. Hey, Alex in Russia, good to see you. Hey, good to see you, Alex in Russia. Shout out to you. 2 to 3 years in Dagestan made him look like this. Yeah, absolutely. All the hard stuff in our lives just comes back out when we go to Dagestani wrestling camps. We have to go wrestle with Rulon Gardner in the Iowa, United States, or in Iran. We have to go get what's his name, Alexander Karelin out of Russian Congress or whatever he's doing now. We have to get all these guys down. Don't we, Trump? I'm not a Trump fan. Hey, I'm not a Trump voter, so don't you guys put words in my mouth. I am not a Trump voter personally, guys. Hey, thanks, Almost High. Thanks so much for the gold coin. Nice to see you again. Good to see you again. Good to see you. Thanks for coming last night too as well. Appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah. So what if he supports Trump? That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to judge someone personally. I say, you tell me you support Trump. The most I would say is, cool, well, I don't support Donald Trump. I'm not a MAGA Republican. But yeah, it's a politics channel, so if you want to debate, I would say it could mean something, right? There's stuff we can talk about for sure. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about. Do you feel in control of your government? There's one question. Do you feel that your values are represented by the U.S. around the world? There's another question. That's all stuff in the most recent blog. Hey, Aro, what's going on? Hey, I'm not able to stay due to work at 3:15, but just popping in to say hi. Hey, good to see you. Hey, we finally made it happen. It's been cool seeing you in the comments section and stuff down on the social media posts. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and have a great day at work. Yeah, hopefully one of these work out for a better time for you. Rulon gold medal winner, Greco-Roman, beat the Russian. Yeah, very famous time in wrestling history. Very almost perfect records even in competition. Very good records in competition. And yeah, so Rulon Gardner against some really great heavyweights. Yeah, crazy stuff. If you feel in control of your government, you're delusional. Yeah, absolutely. Distrust of the government, or being able to say, hey, these are the things I actually do to support democracy or to participate. Hey, thanks so much for the chili, Mr. Steelman. We've got the #1 real true psychedelic mystic Christian in chat. Vegan bro. We got the Steelman in chat. So shout out to you, homie. Good to see you. Thanks so much. Political inclination is completely a fair thing to judge someone about. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, so I'd be curious to know more about that. Does that have to do with the news station you watch? Is it what you want other people to do in a society? Like, where does that start and end? Tolerance is a huge topic in political philosophy and political theory. How do we tolerate people with different views? Crazy stuff. Do you think with politics tries to remain democratic, it does little to enact it by being like it's a gladiator to match the BS dividing us instead of working together? Yeah, in everyday life, people talk about this term expediency. So when you say it does a lot, being like a gladiator. So I think politics does a lot. Politics does a lot when we look at large nation states. Even small nation states are very horrifying, right? In some sense, you're asking what it's like when the most intelligent people in a society get together and hire others to produce a power mechanism or a power motor. And so it doesn't matter if you live in a country of 100,000 people You could picture you work at a company with 100,000 people and you pick the five smartest people and ask them to build like a power mechanism to make you rich, to make you have the capacity to project power, to exert violence on people. And so describing why people agree to that, describing why you would agree to that in the first place, maybe splits the difference. And then maybe you can also ask, right? That's political theory, sort of why you would subscribe to that in the first place. I'm going to give my power to 1 in 100,000. The second side of that is also, well, what are you actually going to get back? That sounds like you're concerned with, well, you know, you want to remain democratic, but I would say, well, why is that true, right? Why is that true? You want to remain democratic? Are you a politician? My dad is a big politician in India, and politicians are really bad guys. Yeah, I'm not a politician. I'm just a guy that likes studying politics, keeping up on the news, stuff like that, knowing what's going on. And yeah, I don't think it's about like having like an oligarchic or aristocratic mindset. It's not about social stratums and classes. It's a little bit about seeing the parts move and saying, well, can I describe this like a chemist describes chemistry? Do I know different theories for what's happening right now? Democracy is not mentioned in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, they love this word republic, but I prepared this remark for today just for Glenn Sharp. So if you guys want to hear this, yeah, I mean, back in the day, freedom in the United States, right? Freedom, this notion of individual freedom, which is core of democracy. It's the idea that people participate in the government, and this is the prerequisite is that you have individual freedom. You cannot be, if you're not free individually, how can you participate as making decisions for the common good as a citizen? You cannot. So it used to be the case you'd wake up and you'd see someone taking trees out of your land, right? Yeah, you know, men are mining lumber or timber, and you wake up and somebody's stealing your trees from your land, and you say, "Hey, what's up, feller? What are you doing over there?" And they'd say, "Well, I'm just mining these trees here that belong to me." And you'd say, "Well, this is my land, so I don't know how you'd reckon that these are your trees, your lumber." And they'd say, "Well, hey, you know, I bought these from old Bill Sharp over there, right? Not Glenn Sharp, but Glenn's dad, Bill Sharp. He sold me the resource rights. He said I still want my house on this land here, and he retained the right to the water, but he sold me the resource rights. So it is your land, but these are my trees." And you'd say, "Well, hey, I don't reckon I ever agreed to that. I don't know about that." And he said, "Well, I believe I have it in the contract." And he'd tell you, "Go sue me for it, right? Go find a magistrate who's going to stop me. You know you can't coerce me using violence to stop me. So I'm going to mine these trees." The magistrate might issue a civil penalty if they want, or they might say that I'm in my right to mine your lumber and mine your trees. And so when I'm thinking of freedom and you say democracy is not mentioned in the Constitution, this actual description of reality is what's actually in the Constitution. This idea that you can act freely and you have to have an authority tell you not to. Hey, what's going on, Adam? Absolutely, you can subscribe. Hi, Dankawan Kenobi, good to see you again. Hell yeah as well. Hell yeah, brother. Civil engineering. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Purple paint. Hell yeah. Hey, Bad Eye. Yeah, thank you, G Fish. What up? What up? So good to see everyone today. Just saying what's up, what's up. But the forefathers primarily looked at democracy as mob rule. Yeah. I mean, there were many mob rules too, Glenn. In the United States, our own founding story, we looked at factionalism, so special interests being exerted either through financial interests, through the media, factionalism trying to influence partisan politics. So our founding fathers had many would say a fine-grained view of the machineries that operated in the United States and still supported democratic norms and principles. The Constitution is written as a Republican form of government. In my opinion, it's still written as democratic values and norms, meaning the absoluteness of individual freedom. That's supposed to be what the landmass in the United States is supposed to be about. And then so you say, well, on top of this, people are going to act crazy. They're going to be selfish, greedy. They're never going to just calm down and listen to anyone else. And so, yeah, can look at things as minority rule. We can look at tyranny of the minority, tyranny of the majority. We can look at minority interests being overly represented in a democracy. People that are able to take advantage of things politically, money having an outsized impact in a democracy. We can look at perhaps how it becomes the case that the free opinions and speech that are brought up I don't know. I'm not an expert on that stuff. Yeah, sounds right. Sounds right. I don't understand the poll. Do you mean using the idea of freedom to just justify democracy? I would think the verb forms. It's kind of a common opinion or option. If you have freedom, you exist in a space in a physical. So let's just say you're able to exist in a physical space, or whatever. And this physical space is bound. It has a boundary or is defined in such a way that you have to have freedom, meaning you can go pursue wealth, opportunities, you can pursue an education, you can voice your opinions, you can engage with other citizens in the way you wish, as long as you're not coercing anyone using physical threats of violence. As long as there's no physical threats of violence or something like this. And yeah, yeah. And so, so yeah. So that's the idea, is that people use this sense of freedom where they are in order to support a democracy or to not, in order to break it down. Democracy and freedom may just be this happenstance thing that is preserved or emerges. It's because of other forces. It's because of competition. It's no different. You might say it is or it is no different than King David or Muhammad or these other great three theocratic civilizations, you say. Or maybe the evolution of people. I don't know. Uh, uh, Democracy is what legitimizes monopolies. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah. Yeah, you can't tell Bill Gates. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, if you guys want to buy Microsoft Zunes, those old MP3 players, or you guys want to buy Chromebooks, tablets, you guys had such a good time with the iPhone that you say, hey, I want these Chinese guys. I want China to make me these $100 smartphones, great Wi-Fi chips, nice 4K cameras. I want all the same things that Apple does in a cheaper device, right? I don't need the newest software. I don't need the newest 4K camera. I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet, but I know I need the smart device. And so you get these monopolies in one sense. We have a consumption monopoly in the United States. Everybody in the US buys these smartphones. Apple has a monopoly. China has a monopoly on the production, on the resources. In the US, we've got a monopoly on all the financial products, right? The debt that comes out of this. You take out a credit card, the United States, we're going to buy it from you, right? We're going to buy it. We're going to trade it on Wall Street. So you can't get out of it. And the reason is because, yeah, you can't stop Bill Gates in the first place, right? Oh, Bill McNabb from down the road, he wants to build something in a democracy. Cool. Have at it, buddy, right? Zoran Mamdani and all the king's horses, all the king's men aren't going to tell you otherwise. That's brutal, guys. Are you declaring war on gay kid? What? Can you not? We're an adult channel. We're not like anyone can be here, guys. We're meant to not make anyone uncomfortable, but I'm gonna give you a quick 5-minute timeout. If you want to hang out, we're talking about government a little bit, but this isn't a place for yeah. If you want to talk about issues relating to human development, or political issues related to people under the age of 16 or 18, please ask. Please ask. Don't just start doing it. Because you don't know who you're talking to, right? You can go do that wherever you want on your own accounts. Because they would reject those who would use their freedom. That's a great point. Intention. Anarchists, because they would reject those who would use their freedom. Yeah, yeah, that's a classic argument, is that things like coercion or entering into contractualism is often very difficult, right? We wouldn't know how a company, you don't have to know either, but you don't know how a company like Apple is produced. Um, you don't know how do random people randomly organize or logically organize to get a company like Apple or a big oil company. But then you have this other side of it where it's like, well, if in the first place you were able to, I'm way, you don't, uh, whoa, buddy. We're a politics channel. Would you mind stopping the spam? Thank you. I'm a little down in chat, guys. I got to catch up, but yeah, this is from Almost High. And so very interesting, but it's very easy to describe why, well, we don't know about Apple. We maybe don't even know about like a small sandwich shop or something like this. But what we do really know about is that if you're going to exert force over me, that's very easy to enter into an agreement about, right? We don't want people that are going to tell others how to live. We don't want people, humans, members of our own tribe, the own tribalism telling us how to impact others. And so anarchists make this point that humans are not only autonomy and sovereignty preserving, but they're also rational, right? They also know that this comes before all else. And you don't have to teach this to people. This isn't some great fact of nature, science that you discover. It's just what it is, folks. It's just what it is. Nick Shirley Cuba video just dropped. I don't know. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'd be surprised if Nick Shirley, just given what I know about him and how he presents himself in public, it seems like he says freedom for me and not for thee. My opinion of him is that he's more than happy to take the field work of nationalists, neoconservative people like Donald Trump who deploy fascistic tactics. Fascistic tactics, yeah. So when Nick talks, it's not just rhetoric. He's saying you, the person, doesn't have optionality to not see Muslim politicians in the U.S. as corrupt, right? So to me, it's a form of xenophobic racism. It's also attaching American norms and values to people who already have their own American norms and values, right? And so for me, that comes first. Nick presents himself in a way that if I understand him in a political sense, I take Nick's comments to mean that he's not interested in a good faith or honest or evidenced discussion. When I see someone like Ilhan Omar talk, I say, well, you are a U.S. Congresswoman, and so I deeply distrust you for your role. And in the first place, I'm curious why you've dedicated your life to civic service. You are obviously someone who could probably go to law school and work at a top law firm. You could be a corporate lawyer, whatever it is that you would do otherwise. You understand policy. That is your job, right? And so if you are understanding legalese at the scale of these massive bills and building strategy around it, why are you not doing that and making $2 million a year in your 20s or 30s? And so I would give that respect and credence to someone who just says, hey, here I am. I will not give that same sort of consideration immediately to someone who wants to waste my fucking time. No offense. The iPhone and iPad does usually work quite well. Hey, Albin. Albin says hi. I say hi back. Thanks so much for that cool YouTube heart emoji in chat. Shout out. Thank you. I love seeing those. Humans are will driven. Wow, great point, Ryan Robbins, and a very strong opinion, right? That's a huge statement. Humans are will driven. I'd love to know what you guys think about that. Humans are will driven. Maybe they're not. Right? Literal animal nature. Bro, you look like, yeah. Chandran, Shander Blonde, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Yeah, I mean, if you know how to teach me how to play poker or other games, let me know, bro. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. Seems like he's simple. I see camera, I act up, attention good. Hey, good for him too, right? Hey, good for him. This guy, he wants to, let me just put it this way to you guys. He wants to be in the limelight, right? He's building a career in social media, so he has different incentives. He has skewed incentives. If I were to just kind of put myself in that position, I would say, well, what am I telling my audience? How large is my audience? Where are they at in life? What do they believe? What makes them have like a peaceful couple minutes and then a peaceful next couple minutes? In my opinion, if you lie to people and tell them to produce these hate-based narratives, these narratives that are not true, right? Not true to me politically is the same thing as being hate-based. So you lie to people, or you yourself don't understand enough to do anything other than blame Muslims for being corrupt, and that's your job. Cool. Well, to me, that also says that you yourself are not quite ready for that next step. You yourself have made it to be the case that yeah, you can't talk about why this is relevant in a republic or a democracy or even in an election. But you do have the facts and figures to back it up. So you have all the pieces, parts of someone who is credible. Looks like you have an explanation, evidence. It looks like you are using prior reasoning, but your prior reasoning is based on subjectivity, misunderstanding. Oh my God, guys, I am saying that no, I've got more stuff that I can actually worry about. And that's surprising to some. I support liberalism. That also means I support truth. It means I support candor and I support brevity. I have my own life to live. I'm a progressive Democrat. I'm not a conservative. If you are a conservative, though, you understand where I'm coming from. There's something you can learn, teach, and tell to other people. That's a better use of your time than correcting lies and immaturity from someone who stepped up too fast. Donald Trump seems to have created such a mess that we can't even begin to start describing it. But the mess is there. And that's also sort of a tactic. We actually do have pretty good understandings of where he's going. All right, guys. I can't really be fascist if he has no ties to military service, and the word is used so broadly now. Hey. Fascistic, yeah, the aggrandizement of the military might be an important thing, because ultimately a fascistic government would, or a fascistic sort of policy, would want you to ignore what the military is actually doing. And so we say Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have coordinated themselves to remove different identities from the military, so there's not diversity in the military. He's attempting to normalize seeing the military not just in the capital but in other cities. And so by all sort of measures and looks of it, and we also look at the social media reception of this, right? People don't seem to care about deep injustices, about the militarization of ICE, the militarization of detention centers. That is patently what this is, right? Citizens getting shot, people literally getting lost, and it's claimed that this is out of ineptness. And we don't actually know, right? You don't have an investigation going through and seeing were there text messages. That's my limited government, right? That's my democracy. And so saying that there's no ties to military service is to me, it's keeping the wheat and the chaff together. It's saying, well, it's whatever they told you on television in the first place. This isn't meant to sound conspiratorial, but when you say, well, it's an all-male dominated society, we fired two of the most important women in the cabinet, we prevented there from being transparency processes, and we're touting the military on top of it, we're making people excited about this stuff again. That seems like a fascistic tactic that's been used before in history. Yeah, it means Nick Shirley is a dumb kid, right? The fact that you want Nick Shirley to get press time doesn't mean that Nick Shirley is politically relevant. And yeah, it sounds like he is echoing and playing into his audience is people who believe that there's violent leftists, the demon rats, people with TDS. So acting like this isn't a long-going concern where we see deep inequity, we see deep folly, we see these really brutal ideas that indicate corruption within the GOP from MAGA Republicans coming from the Tea Party. And Nick Shirley is just like one person. He's a human being deserving of dignity and respect. And he's one person who is playing politics at the end of this, right? So Nick Shirley being important to you does not make Nick Shirley politically relevant. And yeah, great evidence is what happened to the deep state? What happened to drain the swamp? Was that all true? So now I can expect in debates, when I go to debate MAGA on actual debate platforms, MAGA Republicans, so I get to press you on everything Donald Trump's done. I also get to press you on the deep state. I get to press you on globalists. I get to press you on Davos. I get to press you on conspiracy theories. I get to press you on people attempting to steal the election January 6th. I get to press you on, yeah, basically these ideas boiling up from Christian nationalism, from people without education, and adopted by them, reposted on social media. So you say Nick Shirley has virtues or valor. He brought the evidence himself. He pulled himself up by the bootstraps on social media or something like this. I say Nick Shirley isn't anything like people who I would actually respect in politics, right? Nick Shirley is not someone, given the way he's conducted himself, who I don't think he could produce a respect-worthy opinion at this point in time. And so, yeah, keep doing social media, Nick, right? Keep going at it, right? You have the algorithm, and YouTube's not dinging you for it. There is no deep state, but that's your audience too, Nick, right? That's your audience. Simultaneously, you and Cam Higbee are growing enormously on these platforms. You've become famous because Donald Trump has invited you to the White House. Maybe you have your own success narrative for it. And yet, here you are, right? Here you are. You're not sending envelopes. You're not shaking hands in person. You're on social media. And this is how one of the main ways you're growing your footprint. Oh, I'm on Fox News too. Cool. So keep doing that stuff, right? Keep letting Papa Bear on Fox News support you and the YouTube algorithm. But your audience are still conspiracy theorists, xenophobes, and hateful nationalists, hateful patriarchal men, and immature and incapable of managing themselves. Nothing's going to change that. That's who your audience is, and that's the level of conversation you're able to have. Are you live from Australia yet? Oh, yeah, I wish I was. Let's see. I look like Jesus, says Johnny. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, I guess. Hey, what's up, Nemo? Nemo saying, please, can I smell the shoe behind you? It doesn't smell like new shoe, right? It smells pretty much like new shoe. I think I've worn it once or twice, so it's still got that plastically, leathery smell. I am a vegan, but I do have a leather shoe behind me. Don't ask me about it. Don't ask me about it. Oh, man, I got all messed up in chat again, guys. We got 42 votes on the poll, guys. So most of you guys think that people do little or nothing to support democracy. We use freedom. So when we're free people, we don't support the source of freedom in a society, maybe. We don't support rule of law. We don't support police, first responders. We don't support politicians who hold government accountable. We don't support politicians talking about a minimal government. We don't support politicians. If you're a progressive Democrat, supporting Keynesian-style economics, social safety nets, or other forms of social welfare toward the common interests, the common good. And you don't also support classic traditional conservatives, maybe not less about conserving values, but conserving your ability to solve problems yourself, and keeping the government away from that sort of space that you've constructed for yourself. Cool. Yeah, thank you. I look like Jesus. Yeah, shout out to you. Thank you for that, I guess. Thank you. I don't know that, but okay. Nick Shirley is only casting awareness to the situation. What does casting mean? I don't know what casting awareness means. Yeah, casting awareness to what? To the fact that Ilhan Omar is, by all measures, a person just like anyone else. And by all intents and measures, Ilhan Omar is someone you can go find doing her job like anyone else and even talk to her about it. Nick Shirley doesn't seem to be chasing corruption demons. And yeah, who knows? Where was Nick Shirley for Tony Gonzalez? You know, this is such a great defender of democracy. He's a financial investigator. He's the next generation's Bethany McLean, right? Bethany McLean is she's maybe the person that a Wall Street executive would sexually harass and then invite to coffee or for a glass of wine to actually spill the shit that she was asking for, right? Bethany McLean, very famous. She was a writer for Vanity Fair. She's written for Forbes. She's been on the cover of these magazines, right? She's an investigative journalist. She would spend 4 years developing a story, right? Bethany McLean, like I said, she would go and make sacrifices. She would trade out the network that was possible for her for people that would actually give her useful information, that would treat her like an insider, that would treat her like she was competent and that she knew what she knew from what I believe, if I recall, it was a very prestigious education that she had in finance, right? She was not some rando who said, I can write flowery language and then go to Wall Street. She had all of it. And so Is Nick Shirley an investigative journalist like Christopher Hitchens or like Bethany McLean in a nonpartisan sense? I don't think he is, right? He wants to go rummage around for FISA files. So do a bunch of auditors, right? So shout out to you guys. Keep up the work. Some of you guys land on something big, and so do a lot of people in a society. So you guys are like founders of your own businesses. Cool. That's awesome. You guys are not like these freedom fighters though, right? You don't represent my values. When you say I'm not being objective, here's my receipts and my subjective emotions and opinions about it. Bethany McLean didn't even go that far, right? When Bethany McLean was writing for Vanity Fair, she's one of my heroes, one of my favorite writers. But she said, "Here's the argument, right?" And because we're writing in a magazine, and this is somewhere between me bumping you on the side of the elbow and perhaps presenting a management consulting report that's going alongside what's happening in a business or in a market. The actual article I write would be like, you would really want to take a look at this, and you should maybe do a little more than take a look at it, but nothing's going that wrong, but you really want to take a look at this. Nick Shirley hasn't said that. He's made direct accusations that him as a social media content creator, as a guy who films on an iPhone, he's made accusations that he himself is not able to make or support. Right. And so he's not an expert. He's not a truth teller. He's not walking through how someone would actually decide about what corruption is. And he's also ignoring corruption in the Trump administration. So he's arguably incredibly biased. And so if you guys want to glorify his name, I think this is another form of being cucked. I think this is another form of letting another man, right? You guys didn't get enough from 70-year-old Epstein Island Donnie telling you what to discuss at your dinner table, what to put in your head. This patriarch is keeping me safe, right? Dear Leader Trump, you are cucked as a man. You are cucked as a woman if you allow this to happen. But now you're letting a 20-something kid who knows nothing cuck you. You're letting him tell you what to believe and put in your body because he's got friends at Fox News, because it's buddy guy, right? This is like the 80 IQ politic arc, right? There is no virtue to just being intelligent. There's no virtue to just knowing things. Most people who are intelligent and know things don't talk about knowing things or being intelligent. But there is certainly a virtue to recognizing when you don't know something. And it seems that social media has encouraged you to forget that you can, go read, honestly, this is a banana for scale. Just go read the poll carefully. Tell me if you can learn or think about something that seems intuitive, or you can have a judgment or discerning sense about it. Is this the same thing when you see a fake investigative journalist who I just outlined is not like a writer for a major publication like Vanity Fair, not a writer for a major publication like Forbes? Is Nick Shirley teaching you something, or is he cucking you? Is he he's being cucked? It's a cuck human centipede. He himself is cucked. You are cucked at the bottom of it, and Donald Trump is the cuck at the top of it. Very strange. And Donald Trump himself probably is also himself very cucked at this moment in time. I don't think it's if you want to debate about it, I don't think it's the determining factor. But to say that Ilhan Omar, just as, again, who she is as a person, right? She represents a district that totally embodies the homogeneity, right? The homogeneity of the United States, the diversity here. It's based on immigration, ethnicity, religion, social class, any of these things, however you want to describe it, right? There's different political interests there. She's dealing with foreign policy in terms of budgets and oversight, and she's dealing with domestic politics, and she's dealing with local and municipal politics, and she's dealing with state politics. So that is who Ilhan Omar is at a baseline. That is what she shows up to do. So you can say she doesn't do a good job. Hey, Rose, good to see you. I hope you're having a good day too. Hey, also, crew, what's up? Good to see you. Do you support vaccines? I definitely support vaccines. I'm being a science denier. Being a science denier is what it takes to be anti-vax. And so I think that we can have reasons we're skeptical of government. We can have reasons we're skeptical of quick fix health solutions like macro greens or carnivore diet, or you don't like veganism. Cool. Have skepticism. You don't know how it's going to work in your body. That makes a ton of sense, right? We're all different. But to say that we don't support vaccines is anti-science, it's science denial, and usually it's related to conspiratorial thinking or religious extremism, right? The only reason people don't have this place to wonder how vaccines are tested and deemed to be both safe as well as effective is that you have some other worldview where the government's working against you somehow, not just the way all governments do, but in a specific way. And this is what Democrats said to the Tea Party that made them lose their mind and ultimately select MAGA for the next incantation of the GOP in the United States, right? You guys didn't just go hire more John McCain's, not Dan Bongino, that guy is a lunatic. But you guys didn't go hire more John McCain's. You didn't go find Jimmy Carter's better half, right? Jimmy Carter was a Navy or an Air Force veteran. He was one of the two. He was also a very peaceful guy. He believed in communitarian style politics. He believed in democratic engagement, maybe stronger forms of democracy. Not the best, not the worst, right? Jimmy Carter often hailed as an authentic president of peace. Hey, thanks so much for the hundos. Thanks, I appreciate the hype. And yeah, and so yeah, and so you know, yeah, and so we get to this point where what's it called? Yeah, saying that something, your worldview has to be already sort of messed up to believe you are as important enough. You are important enough to weigh in on vaccines for everyone, right? Weigh in on vaccines for everyone, or to make people recognize that your fact-based opinion about vaccines for yourself is true. Your fact-based opinion about Diet Coke or vaccines for yourself may be incorrect, right? And it probably is. If you're not a doctor, if you're not a researcher, if you've never studied any form of science, if you haven't been curious or open-minded, if you have no way of producing explanations that aren't your feelings and experience, you're probably wrong about vaccines. You're also probably wrong about politics. I don't understand. You don't want to bump your head on the ceiling. Well, there's the ceiling. You already bumped your head on it. You look like an idiot. You look and sound like an idiot who somehow cannot just look in the mirror and speak and wonder if this is how a normal person sounds, right? Not in 2026, but in any given time period. Is this how somebody who's expressing an opinion, who is seeking to engage in a conversation that isn't deceptive, is this how a normal person looks or sounds? Can you walk away from that same conversation, the talking point? Clutch, let's go, baby. Shift. There we go. Let's go, baby. Shout out. Thanks so much. Hey, Buffoon, great to see you. Hey, Brian, great to see you. Hey, it's Eli. Hey, it's me too. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Even with the Bill Gates and the food supply being touched with beta test, I don't know what that is, crew. I don't know what that means. You'd have to do a little bit better. Sarah the Raging Tomato, if anyone knows her in the panelverse, she did a cool debate on adrenochrome or something like this. What is it called? It's a metabolite from adrenaline, right? So we have these biological pathways all over our body that can help centered in organs that can help us metabolize chemicals that our body naturally produces, as well as those that we intake, right? So our body is a hormone machine. It is a neurotransmitter machine. It's an energy machine. It builds and breaks these molecules and chemicals all the time. And then we can also intake these, right? You can just get them from the environment. And so there was a really interesting panel debate on if the CIA and MK Ultra used this stress hormone to control people. And there's no evidence for it, right? You would be more interested in something like that for mass scale sort of just what industrialization modern society does. And so this isn't good intelligence thinking. It is conspiratorial and it is science denial. People want to eat whole foods, but then you sure drive a car, don't you? I don't know if that's what you're saying, right? You're more than happy to buy a laptop. But yeah, certainly buy organic food, right? Buy whole foods, eat organic lentils, organic potatoes, organic yams from Peru. Peruvian potatoes are so good. But then we are all allowed to, I have a light on, right? But this is healthy natural coal. This is healthy natural gasoline. I have healthy natural silicone refined to a very high degree and manufactured to a high degree in my laptop. So much so that these tiny little rocks on Earth, these solids can be used to build switches, right? Automatic switches in my laptop, pathways for my laptop. I don't understand it. Hey, lesson list. Good to see you. Yeah, great to see you. Population control is not conspiracy. Okay. You're demanding someone recognizes a viewpoint that you have that is based in zero evidence, right? And so the funny part is that the fact that, Crew, your opinion looks like it could belong at the GOP convention. People like Jack Prosobiec, that was hired by Charlie Kirk, that worked closely. Charlie would collaborate with Jack P., who also believed these insane conspiracy theories. And you say that this is an authority or an expert at politics. He's expert enough that he's not just entertaining, but you take information and inform yourself, right? So these aren't shock jockeys. These are political participants, political actors. And you say population control is not a conspiracy. I don't care because you're in my chat room, right? You are in the Ducks Wide chat crew. But if you go to someone who's positioning themselves as a productized, you can pay a membership, you can generate ad revenue, you can send money, donate money to them, you can support for larger donations an organization like Turning Point, and you're a conspiracy theorist. I'm saying, well, that's not a serious organization. You have to look at yourself in the mirror again, quite literally, and say, when Charlie Kirk is talking, does Charlie Kirk look like someone who has an IQ above 100? If his IQ isn't above 100, is he qualified? What qualifies him? And anyone for this matter, but this guy, and the way I intuited is this guy's an idiot. He's dumb. And is he qualified to talk to an audience of millions, right? That's mean. No, it's not, right? No, it's not. Stupid people or people that become stupid always act a fucking fool. This is not that controversial, guys. Why is it the case that folly or foolishness is always described in corruption? It's not just the fact people are comfortable in indulgence. You guys have made it so you can't say someone is fucking stupid anymore. That's absolutely insane to me. If someone's fucking stupid, what are they? They're fucking stupid. They're not curious. They're not nice. They're not inquisitive. There's nothing mysterious about it, right? And so someone like Charlie Kirk was stupid. Charlie Kirk was a fucking idiot. Charlie Kirk was low IQ. He was uninformed. He was poorly researched. His brain could not produce explanations that exist in nature and in reality. He was delusional and stupid, right? And so saying that Charlie Kirk and Turning Point could lead this organization that has millions of people inspired by it, right? It's not only maybe a form of corruption, if you want to think about it that way, that Charlie Kirk wanted money and believed in himself more than he believed in you, right? That would have really broke that one down for me. Charlie Kirk believes in you more than he believes in himself. But it's also folly, right? What is folly? It's about being an idiot. It is about being stupid. It is about being too unintelligent to critically think and solve a problem. It is about being too ignorant and stupid, too neuronally or informationally or sort of from a systematic thinking standpoint, too poor to be trustworthy. There's not a better description than the fact Charlie Kirk was stupid. Stupid, right? And then go look at Patrick Bet-David. Literally, I believe Patrick Bet-David has been accused in the past of Ponzi schemes. Patrick Bet-David sells mugs and t-shirts, right? He has an audience of millions of people, and the idea that he produced is selling mugs and t-shirts. This is not someone who is an inspiration. This is not just a radio voice. This is a dumb human being. This is a human being who doesn't have critical thinking skills, who is selfish or self-absorbed, isn't curious about helping others, and is so fucking stupid he sells swag and website memberships. I could go do that. I could literally set that up as a former tech sector worker, as someone who worked with e-commerce, big and small e-commerce, right? The people at a company like Target or Walmart or Amazon are way the fuck different than people that necessarily are just selling organic baby wipes, right? They're selling California and Canadian compliant baby wipes or furniture, this kind of stuff. They're selling information to people. Basically, the product is sold based on information or something. But Patrick Bet-David says, hey, come here, sit down, be as dumb as I am, and then buy a t-shirt, buy a mug. Okay, cool. See you, lessonless. I hope I wasn't so mean. You're off to pasture. Cool. Enjoy the sheep stuff or whatever. Sleep. I gotcha, homie. Let's go. Have a great day. Hell yeah. Also, Charlie Kirk was a sacrifice. What? Like, see, this is the ironic shit, is Christian nationalists say stupid stuff. I don't know if this is irony or you see it, but I gotta pin this up. Let me see if I can pin this up in a better way. In a way that I'm going to remove your name from it, and I'm also going to shame this a little bit. No, definitely never add as a moderator. Never add Crazy Arrow as a moderator. And we have to make sure we are, it's this, right? Good Gershon man, right? Good Gershon man. You didn't like that. Good Gershon man didn't like that we was insulting your patriarch. What is a sacrifice human? So okay, cool. So we have our humor, our joke for the day. What the fuck is a sacrifice human? Who the fuck are you? Please don't come within 100 feet of me or my family or school ever. Holy shit. Someone said Charlie was a sacrifice. To what? What is a sacrifice human? So you don't have a vocabulary, you don't have a worldview capable of describing a tragedy that happened, and so you invent a sacrifice human. This is exactly the problem, guys. Holy macaroons, guys. What? This is insane to me. That is the craziest thing I've heard on the internet in a long time. What is a sacrifice human? I don't care about the rest of it. You guys don't understand. I don't care about the rest of it. It's not just a slip of the tongue. This is the scope and the scale and the depth of MAGA Republican politics, right? Dinkus makes man popular. Dinkus buys military weapons. Dinkus hires federal police officers. Dinkus makes it think that other bad guys in the world, bad guys, are bad guys in small. Dinkus have overconfidence. Dinkus go do this. Dinkus don't plan. Dinkus do this. I'm not shaming you. I took your name out of it. If you want to claim the responsibility for that, please do. By all means, I will claim responsibility myself of saying that. What the flying fuck are you talking about? Holy shit. What the flying fuck does that statement say? It says nothing. That's insane, right? You don't see that that's insane, guys. Remember, Duck is pro-elites, Bill Gates, etc. What is pro-elites? What does that mean? You know what? You can get the fuck out of my chat room. There you go. There you guys go. Hot and bothered. Thank you. You're going to tell me what I believe, right? So this is the commoners, right? This is the House of Commons playing. You tell other people what they believe, even though you don't know what you believe. You don't know what happens in your own body, right? Hey, look, I'm not a genius, but I know what happens in my own body. Very silly, very silly. He was a sacrifice human to his wife. What is a sacrifice human to his wife? So now you're making stuff up. You're making up something you didn't ask, and you're making up more stuff on top of it. Deeply consider, hey, why don't you guys in your own life without involving me, hey, honestly ask this question like Charlie Kirk would have asked you. Honestly consider it. Honestly consider your own stuff and then live with it yourself. Do not ask others to live with it. Honestly consider this. Honestly consider this. Honestly consider this. Okay, bro, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. More subscribers and viewers on social media. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. More blogs, right? Hell yeah. More video blogs. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. More video blogs, AI edits. Hell yeah, brother. Honestly consider the ideas that you're putting out there, guys. This is absolutely insane to me. Maybe Tuna Millennials, what up? How are you guys doing? Shout out to you. He doesn't have the Gates hat. Are you ready for some quiz questions? I want to test if the people from the US are smart. Your definition of smart and your definition of quiz questions, whatever quiz questions are, is sounds like a social media app entertainment platform. Please don't ever associate with something that is in reality in the real world ever, under any circumstance, please. I know my pancreas is dead and buried. Hey, shout out to you. Handler, I don't know what a handler is, but cool. Enjoy that one yourself. Deeply consider whatever you meant by that for yourself. Thank you. Not for me. Thank you. Yeah, they don't have. Yeah, and so this is how morally irresponsible as you are. Is this is supposed to be a place where you can come. I don't care if you have bipolar. Maybe you do have. You've been diagnosed in the handbook with a form of schizophrenia. You've experienced psychosis once in your life. That's not that uncommon in the modern era, right? And somebody is talking about CIA handlers or some form of handler, right? A globalist handler. That is so stupid, right? This is a stupid statement. This is insane to me. If you say it again, I'm going to ban you from the channel. Masadi, again, so I'm going to ban you from the channel. If you want to come back and give it a second try, you can try it tomorrow. Feel free. You're the one who put yourself on the internet, idiot boy. Cool. Well, I don't think you're ever going to get a lot out of it, so let's just keep you off the channel forever. Unfortunately, there you go. Nobody is making stuff up. You don't want to see. You can make an alt and come back to the channel if you want. Nobody is making stuff up. You don't want to see for yourself and do the research yourself. What? So you are saying you are more read, more cited than I am. You're saying that you can understand what an explanation means. You have better prior inference. So again, when you talk about research as well, Crazy Arrows, please keep that to your own self, right? Use the same process that you expect for others in your own life, right? If you have a way of explaining things that does not comport to reality, if the things that you reference, such as nobody, so you're talking about the lack or emptiness of a person, you're talking about a lack, you're talking about a nothing of people. So I have to connect this idea in my head, and I just did it. It's not that hard. But so you're saying that there's a lack of people who would understand the statement that are there's a non-group of people that are making stuff up, right? Or there's a numerical number of zero physical people making stuff up. You don't want to see it you don't want to see for yourself. See what for myself? I am on my phone in front of you, right? You can go to my Substack. You can read the citations that I put in there. So it's social media friendly. It's readable for people like me and people like you. It's not meant to be academic. It's not a peer-reviewed journal. It talks about Tom Ford and Gucci. It also talks about political science. Go check the Substack if you want. But go see for myself. I go see when I'm doing something. I go see when I'm voicing an opinion. I go see before I vote. Go see, right? And so I have no clue what planet you're living on, but it sounds like it sounds like you have no grasp of the words you're saying. They don't mean anything until you go do something. And then whatever you go do is just as random as the next. Please keep it to yourself. This involves no one else. You guys are Charlie Kirk. Enjoy. You guys can go be Charlie Kirk, guys. I already eulogized. I offered, as someone who didn't know Charlie, was not a Charlie fan, but lives in the United States, lives within sort of the political space. I eulogized Charlie. I cried when Charlie got shot. In terms of Charlie's ideas, if you want to have a different discussion about his actual legacy in the world, you guys can go be Charlie. I am not a we there, right? I am not a we with you guys. That doesn't mean we're not part of the same society, the same social fabric. We don't have the same forces that are coercing us, driving us, producing freedom, not producing freedom. You guys can reel that back. If you do more, hey, Kilroy, enjoy this show. If you ask another condescending question, I'm going to time you out. Name 2 continents, I'm going to time you out. Hey, Snafu. So, Duck, you're getting triggered. Hey, Snafu, good to see you. I'm going to leave you up for a second. Yeah. Yeah. Name 2 continents. Kilroy, I'm going to ban you next time you say something like that. What do you think will happen in the end with this redistricting? Who knows? It sounds like, there's going to be another arbitrary fight that the correct response is pushing further into civil society, forcing Congress to do its job, forcing Congress to recognize that Whether you are a Democrat or a MAGA Republican, you're a member of the GOP or the Democratic Party, you're an independent, your job is to represent all of your constituents. Your job is to write budgets and policy for in line with the Constitution. And so in theory, it really should not matter in the United States. And in theory, people on both sides should seek to hold each other accountable when there's wrongdoing that's happening. And it makes the most sense, guys, when you have a GOP president. When Donald Trump is a member of the GOP, he has stated beliefs that are more extreme. He's written more executive orders. Where will the most wrongdoing come from? It is not the people doing the most will do the most wrongdoing. This is what conservatives in 2026 don't understand. It is more likely there's a Bayesian prior that more wrongdoing will come from the executive. This was also true for Barack Obama. Barack Obama ran illegal drone programs. Barack Obama asks you to say okay to government surveillance via the NSA, via data centers, right? Via this private infrastructure that has nothing to do with democracy. There's been wrongdoing for every president. Maybe it's par for the course, but to imagine that Ilhan Omar, a single small senator from Minnesota, or Gavin Newsom, a very powerful governor, without any tangible evidence of things that he did wrong, these are corrupt politicians. Meanwhile, you have Daddy Trump, who's cucking you, telling you what to talk about at the dinner table. Conservatives do not understand your Constitution lives on that level. You said you're vegan. Is the moral reason? Yeah, I'm a vegan. I support vegan reasons for exploitation, right? Exploitation is, I would take it to be either a moral or a constructivist interpretation of the results of using and eating animals as an end, treating animals as a means to an end, not an end in and of themselves. But yeah, I'm also a vegan just because intuitionally and from a judgment perspective, it's healthier. It's healthier. I don't like feeling sad when I see cows in cages. I like being able to feel like these are members of my human family. And so I have a lot of reasons for being vegan, but yeah, I adopt the exploitation. All right. Snafu, I got to time you out, brother. Just give you a quick minute here. Reset a little bit, brother. Challenging the topic, people don't disrespect. Duck. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, whatever you guys want. Hey, bro, I need to talk to you. Hey, sure, Yamaha. You're in Maryland. Oh, cool. Shout out to you, Yamaha. What's going on? How's Maryland? Have you seen The Wire? That's a great show. Bro, you're too smart for your own good. He can be hella arrogant. Cool. Sick. Me explaining things requires spiritualism to be involved, and you don't seem to be a spiritualism person, or do you understand? You're once again prescribing to me something that you know nothing about me. You're not asking a question. In your mind, and only in your mind, again, keep this to yourself as well. Only in your mind are you losing a debate. Only in your mind are you losing a debate. I have not thought about you for the last 5 or 10 minutes here. I don't know who you are, truthfully, right? After this stream ends, I have no idea who Crazy Arrows is. I recall now that we're talking about it, you said one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard on the internet. However, as it stands here, as someone who's an expert in government, expert business, all these types of deals, whatever, what have you, I don't know who you are, and so you're assuming I'm not a spiritualist, or I don't have a different way of understanding that, and you haven't offered, you're talking about the physical world, so you need to talk to me, you can help me, cool. Yeah, if you guys want to help me, you guys can send me or your other favorite streamers some support, financial support, small super chats, guys, $1, $2 super chats. If you guys want to really change my week, change my month, you guys can send orange, pink, red super chats, buy a membership, gift memberships. Those are huge ways to support. Also, those small, they're not that small, they're really impactful, but the YouTube jewels and gifts, easy to set up via Google Pay or Android, iOS. Send YouTube gifts, send super chats to me and other streamers you guys like. Thank you. That supports me huge. Charlie is alive and well. Hey, I hope you're okay, man. I'm going to time you out if you start spreading conspiracy theories in the chat. Charlie's in New Zealand. He's alive and well. I don't, you guys, please don't, Charlie was a trap. Don't fall for it. Yeah, cool. I'm going to time you out. Thank you so much. You can come back in a day if you want to talk about politics. Guys, we don't need to talk about otherizing others. Alabama, anarchist, what's up? How are you doing this evening? Good, sir. Good, good. It's not even my evening yet. I got 1 o'clock on my time, 12:55. So shout out to you. Hopefully you are doing well as well. in Bama. Yeah, I'm in Arizona, so shout out to you. Two dirty Souths, one chat room. What's up? What's this I need to know about to be mad or not? I hope you're not mad about anything, but whatever you want, Klubert. Make it up as you go along. You'll get right along. Hey, what's up, A Drizzle? I meant Epstein was a conspiracy. You're what we used to call a PUD. Vegan does not equal more healthy. You can do anything honest, Google search and find out yourself. Yeah, Jiggy guy, that's not an argument. This is, again, we were talking about vaccines just a minute ago. So thank you so much for that incredibly uninformed, poorly evidenced statement. Yeah, right. You can have absolutely, you can have your subjective or what you feel is an objective view about what is healthy for you or the role of vaccines or other medical interventions. You can have your own opinion about how it works. Some of it may be true, right? Sometimes you can you would accept you can be either correct or wrong about things that are good for you. For example, if I said, well, eating batteries or drinking extra strong coffee for 30 years is good for me, I can believe that, and that statement can be right or wrong. However, that's not evidence, right? It's all basically saying that it does satisfy the statement of being a proposition. It is something that is truth apt about the world. Doesn't mean that you provided evidence for it. It doesn't mean that that's what you're trying to do here. You could just be repeating it, right? You could just be repeating it. You're sort of throwing a baseball and saying, hey, that ain't the baseball game, buddy. And that's all completely up to you. Do you find medieval and early remnants interesting? I'm not a huge history guy, right? My problem with historical methodology is, yeah, people in history can deceive you. Constructivism isn't supposed to be, history isn't supposed to be a source of truth. And so for my own political opinions, right, I like history is absolutely science, right? It's empirical. You should be able to reproduce stuff. You can't have someone telling you the Shroud of Turin is real when the Shroud of Turin isn't real. No one can reproduce it, right? I couldn't publish a paper, for example, in The Guardian or the New York Times, a reputable newspaper, WAPO, the Washington Post, whatever it is. I couldn't publish a paper or an article saying, hey, Duck, your buddy Ducks discovered the Shroud of Turin, and so now we know Jesus was around back then. No worries about it. How would the guy exist without the Shroud of Turin? This is logics, right? You got to understand this, and then you understand I got the thing. 2 + 2 = 4. It's that simple, right? I could publish that article, but that wouldn't mean it's actually true. That wouldn't mean I've added evidence, and that doesn't mean that someone else could write the same article and say, hey, I saw it. And here's where you can go see it too, right? So the Shroud of Turin doesn't exist, so I could never, very basic, the Shroud of Turin never exists, so I could never write an article about the Shroud of Turin, being truthful. And so, hey, really nice statement. You look like a homeless crazy person. Thank you so much, Too Evil to Hope. Run wild on the internet. Thank you. Yeah, so this is why I have a lot of respect for historians, even though I myself, it's not a domain that I've done a lot of exploration in. I think a lot of political science as well is done well without the historical narratives. And also the historical, I was just reading, not Benjamin Barber, but I was looking into Robert Paxson recently. He is a historicist, sort of. He uses historical methods, and also speaks down to the level of theory or comparative politics, maybe. And so Robert Paxson is an example of someone producing important work that wouldn't be there otherwise, that people interested in history could look up Robert Paxson. I think I'm spelling it right. So if you guys want something, hey, thank you so much for the spam activity. I'm going to put you in a brief timeout, guys. We're just going to go a minute to clear the messages off screen. If you want to listen, contribute, talk, there you guys go. There you guys go. Well, a huge thing that we don't know what any of the royals looked like, because if an artist painted them, how do we know they really looked it? Was it just off with their heads? Yeah, absolutely. You know, iconography can absolutely be produced for many reasons. And our interpretation, right, there's this psychological interpretation about how do you even analyze art? How do you analyze the aesthetic of someone who's not in a photograph? You know, photographs maybe are evidence that someone's there, and that's it, right? You don't have an insight or a grasp of their psychology or something like this. Hey, thank you for coming back in. I don't know if I know you, but shout out to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I apologize for the timeout. Please no spamming in chat. All caps. I don't understand what I can do. If you guys have something to say, yeah, feel free. We do have people all over the world. If you can offer an argument, you can use Google Translate. I know it's inconvenient, but I'll try to read it. It might get missed. And then also, if you can clearly state what you're trying to get across, so not just me, but other people in chat can get value from it, please do that, right? Please treat yourself with some respect and some dignity. It's not that hard. You may be surprised what you can find. Everything else looks good. Hey, what's going on, Angela? Sir, about Indian history. Hey, Tez, you're going to know a lot more about Indian history than I am, about the history of India. The old Sanskrit documents and the polycanons is about where I stop, right? It talks about the Brahmin. It talks about the mythology, the role in society, various social groups supporting rulers in India. And it talks about this in the context in the polycanon in Sanskrit, the exploration of topics like justice and injustice, about suffering, about values and living in a society, attachment. These types of topics are all represented in the polycanons, as well as the class system, social stratums. Why is it that some people treat others more unfairly than other people, right? In the United States, you might ask a different question. In India, this was a very common question because you had social stratums, right? You have the caste system. So asking in India why the Brahmin talk down to people, they make fun of you for the darkness or color of your skin, or the Brahmin will make fun of you or something like this, they'll make fun of you and say these are the wrong things. They'll also exercise authority and power over you. In the United States, we can ask this about racism, so maybe there is a one-to-one parallel, right? There's slavery, there's chattel slavery, there's household slavery, basically debt slavery, wage slavery for women in the household. You're basically a slave to the kitchen or whatever because you don't have a bank account. Your husband does. There's pushback against antinatalism, but it does sound sort of funny. Like some people that might be primary, your first question that you ask, maybe it remains primary. That's ultimately what you want to answer. And you think a minimal government or a just society doesn't go beyond this. Cool. That's interesting, right? That's a great conversation, and getting all of the details out, getting all of the understandings really powerful for that type of conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's have fun. But then the other side of it is also, it sounds weird in the 1776 moment. It sounds weird in the 1776 moment where we are talking about like property rights, or we're talking about the right to vote. We're talking about where states start and end. Some people would say, well, these are also important questions. And once you solve this racism, sexism issue, or once you settle into where you are and what's possible for this stuff, you're still a part of the tribe. And the tribe's most important questions are still about perhaps freedom or autonomy in general, not just specifically. And so both of these conversations are obviously incredibly important. They relate to topics like patriotism, or perhaps like feminism, like patriarchy, like matriarchy, like living in a post-identity society. These are all really important topics. And so just one thing I would point out is, while the Brahmin, the story of the caste system and the story how religions like Buddhists or Hindus have managed the morals and ethics of living in a stratified society could be different. It could be different than modern nation states like Westphalia. Maybe they're not worth comparing, but just the ideas are very different. The ideas themselves don't necessarily correlate one-to-one. I don't understand why when you are pay off your house, you got to pay taxes, but if you don't, they take it. Sure things in life, death and taxes, and yeah. So you have to pay, what is it called? Is there a land tax or a land usage tax or something like this? I don't know what it is. Why symptoms say sick? Self-hating, you're worse than, I think I timed you out. I heard that caste is based more on work category. That's not right. That isn't that, that is, so that would be totally wrong. That would be wrong or something like this. Wouldn't it be? It would be instead, right, that, right, so you would have to clarify that, but the obviousness and apparentness that people are treated differently would go alongside this idea. For you, that would go along the idea that there's an actual reality or truth to this, right? There's a reality or truth to the fact that caste is based off of ethnicity and perceived differences between people without anything else that exists. So, from us at a Blackfeet Nation, much love to you, we're Native American Indians. Cool. Hey, shout out to you guys. Shout out NDLA. Good to see you. Because of how it's promoted, it's one of the largest religions. When there's something that gets hyper popular, it's bound to get holier than thou. It's not just Christianity. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Cool. I think history is just about different perspectives only. Cool. Yeah, that's sort of Hegelian. You know, this is an interesting idea. I'll say, I'll type this in chat. So this is a very interesting idea. This is something Hegel argues that we should consider. Hegelianism. So he might say that, well, we see the first constitutions coming out in the United States. This is fundamentally different. You have unfettered access. A Western civilization has unfettered access in an industrial sense to reaching out all of the United States. And so someone coming from a Hegelian tradition may say, well, this is overwhelming, right? This is what history is about. This is what reality is about at this moment in time. Reality is about how all institutions that you talk about and describe, it is about how all systems of government, all ways to chop up states' rights and delegate powers. This is all about the fact that a liberal state has power over this landmass, right? This is what a nation state is. And now you have a new way of doing it. Nothing's really going to be more important than this. But someone may also say, well, there's also chattel slavery. And so a critical perspective will say, well, this is still about, the most important thing is still about their subjugation. And look how this can majorly impact what reality is like. And then Hegel or Lacan, someone like Slavoj Zizek, may encourage us to also say, well, if you actually see a deep moment of suffering as a result of this, maybe it's one event in the Native American genocide. Maybe it's one event in chattel slavery in the South. Maybe it's one event of either racism or sexism, violence against women in the North, right? He might say that also that, well, this event itself, this one thing is all you need to know about the moment itself. Ultimately, what this liberal government is producing, and the only problem that you can consider solving isn't conquest, because you already know that, right? You already know about slavery, so this is why Hegelians aren't going to be spending their entire academic career talking about slavery, because you see it. It's in the document. It's in history. You can set up a museum. You don't need to talk about it more. Then you go to that next step, right? You're not going to talk about the Carnegies. You're not going to talk about the railroads. Why? Because you see it. You already know it. You already know it. It cuts the land in half. You have the records of A&M schools. You've got the Aggies going out, building farms, building trains, building cities. You don't need to talk about it more. What don't you know about? Well, what you don't know about is the only thing that you can talk about, which is the worst forms of suffering. A buffalo goes extinct, but you killed a buffalo mother there. Wow, that's crazy. Hey, that's not going to happen forever. Guess what? We already know you're not going to be building trains forever because you told us. You told us we can go do something else. You told us we can live in New York City. What you didn't tell us is why it's the case that either violence against women, violence against African Americans, violence against the indigenous, violence against poor whites, violence against the great American buffalo, why subjugation, why these worst events in history that happened, right? Why these are going to stop at some point in time. You truly have two world orders. You don't have a new world order like liberalism says. You already know that. Liberals don't even talk like this. Why do you speak down to yourself? So there's a reality. Duck, can we vote Trump out of office in any way? No, you can't. He can be impeached by the Congress. That's the pathway. He can resign as well. Do you know Nike is the goddess of victory? Cool. Shout out to you. Wives. Hey, what up? Love the Nike kicks in the background. Hey, thanks, Black Soul. Great to see you guys. Great to see you. My name's Nathan. I go by Duck Online, and I'm super excited to be here, everybody. Shout out to you guys. We're doing not history necessarily, but if you guys are history buffs, shout out to you. I see the Roman Empire being dropped. I talk political science. Guys, carefully read the poll. Carefully read the poll. Tell me what you guys think. If you guys discover something new or interesting, let me know. It's qualitative and quantitative, right? It's things you can count on your fingers and your knuckles. It's numbers. It's mathematics. It's also these subjective feelings, these subjective sort of descriptions of the thing that we might say are broadly accepted or something like that, guys. So we can talk about that too. We can talk about that a little bit. True. There's reality. Cool, cool. Shout out to you guys. Ahead and pin up this Hegelianism type deal. So that Hegelian message is pinned, guys. Thanks, Karinsky. Appreciate that really kind statement. Do you know Nike is the goddess of victory? What did you eat for you to be a radio? There you go. What about the moguls? Moguls, like, are you talking about? You're talking about like business moguls? Yeah, business empires. Yeah. The first thing most people learn is horizontal and vertical integration, meaning that instead of where Marx talked about, Karl Marx told you that landed aristocracy, wealthy capitalists, the bourgeois, the capital class, they would use capital to buy political power at the end of it. So at the end of it, at the end of everything, you buy political power, you prevent pushbacks on regulations or regulating labor markets, and you make money on people's time when you can't find more innovative efficiencies. So you can't discover something new, so you buy real estate and you buy the government. The other side of this is that, yeah, the description in capitalism is that, well, no, it's actually the case that doesn't get you there. You need to innovate. You need to go buy the supply chain. You need to go buy the people that support your business. You buy those companies, then you buy the things and build the things that are above you, right? You build the end products. You buy more of the end products yourselves vertically, right? So you build the inputs, you buy more of the outputs or build these things yourselves, and your capital goes to this. You don't care about political power. You care about one thing, which is your economic property rights, maybe taxes, right? So you care about keeping your cash in the business, and this is how capitalism works. So when we look at business moguls and business empires, no, it is not. It is not Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. It is not Andrew Tate selling porn courses. It is not Andrew Tate having a channel on YouTube. It is not taking pictures for Instagram on a plane, right? Anyone can go do that. Anyone can go do these things. You guys could go do this tomorrow, right? You have a rich uncle. A rich uncle could invest $100,000 and make you an internet celebrity if they wanted to. You got the skill to do it. Cool. So you got the skill to do it, right? The skill to do it isn't going and doing something that's actually difficult, hard, or new. And so again, if we're talking about in a performative sense, if we're talking about the dumb person arc, where dumb people have gone crazy on the internet, being dumb, celebrating dumbness, also being cruel, lacking curiosity, exalting cruelty, truly, exalting otherness, exalting their own accomplishments for reasons that have nothing to do with themselves, and claiming to be superior. Dumb people think people like Andrew Tate have done innovative or new things. They think they are sort of noteworthy in some sense. Andrew Tate sold an online course to teach people how to do pornography. Cool. Awesome. I could probably go do the same thing, guys. New red pill, right? You guys want me to become I'm an ethical sleuth. I'm an ethical libertine. I'm an ethical guy who likes getting out there. I got dom mommies, goth mommies. Don't ask about that. Ask about yourself. Let me teach you how to do the course, guys. I have dom mommies. I have goth mommies. Don't ask me about it if you're not interested in the answer. Ask me the question that you're actually interested in the answer. Don't put yourself out of bounds for something that isn't necessary right now. That's not going to help you move forward. It's not rocket science, guys. I'm going to be the new Andrew Tate. Hey, what's going on, Karinsky? Whatever you want. Stranomekti. Go read my blog, buddy. Go read my Substack. You guys can like, subscribe. I engage in the comments, guys. Please do help me use YouTube like social media. If you guys see posts, you guys want to talk to me in the comments, I'm online all day, guys. I'm like a lot of you guys. I'm on internet time, so let me know what you guys think, right? We're a small channel. I'm a small creator, and I love spending time with you guys. If you guys want to support with super chats, anything like that, it's hugely helpful. Memberships, all that stuff. I can't read. Cool. I'm sorry. I don't know how I can't help with that. I don't know that Andrew Tate's a terrible person. I know he's not, like, just seeing what he did, he doesn't seem like he is some sort of super genius. He's probably got a higher chess elo than I do, right? He's always put himself out there. So good on him for that, but he adopted it to take it to mean, whatever, who knows? I don't see how I personally would justify a meta-ethical conversation with myself about telling my audience about red pill stuff, talking about how you either have to defend men or that there's these unobscene forces working against men. This is another tactic that stupid people use in a society, in politics, what Thomas Hobbes would call iniquity and foolishness. So both severe injustice, so you have this stat that 35% of women are victims of IPV. That's pretty obvious and loud. And so instead of picking up on that as an iniquity, you go perform foolishness. You say, well, there's 1,000 excuses for why things are the way they are. I can praise myself. I can also claim victim status when something's not the way I want it to. And I also don't have to evidence claims, right? Here's my rules to play kickball, to play kick the can with me, to play heads up, 7-up, whatever it is. My rules are I don't have to provide evidence. I don't have to own any of the consequences of my actions. I can blame other people. And all this kind of stuff. So surprise, surprise, everybody. Hey, what's going on, Off? Shout out to you. Hey, bro. Hey, bro, to you too. What's going on? What you got going on inside you? Where did you get your information from, broski? What information are you talking about? Where do I get my information from? Do you have the internet? Where do you think why asking the condescending question like you're curious? Do you have Wikipedia? Do you have Google Scholar? Can you change your algorithm? Change your algorithm on YouTube, buddy. Change your algorithm on YouTube. Subscribe to people who talk about things that make you better. Tune out earlier or faster. Like, still support people that are, like, if Andrew Tate to you is a comedian, if he's an entertainer, still go watch Andrew Tate, but tune out faster. Go do something else with your time. Don't let him cuck you. Don't let him tell you what to do with your life. Don't let Charlie Kirk and Turning Point tell you what to do with your life. Don't let Tim Pool tell you what to do with your life. Don't let Andrew Bustamante shouldn't be telling you what to do with your life. Neither should John Kiriakou. Neither should me, right? Tune out of the channel if you're not getting value out of it. I'm not that amazing. Cool. I like you too, though. Yeah, shout out. I love all people, and so less specifically, Buffoon is absolutely Buffoon. I would vote for you for a black pill, no pill, blue pill, red pill creator, way faster than Andrew Tate, faster than Myron Gaines, faster than any of these guys. What will you have in 500 years? I don't know. What do you think? Am I supposed to have a belief that I sit on, that I'm going to be the same thing? I'm going to be the same thing I really am, or I'm going to be the same nothingness as a self? Or I'm supposed to say that, well, it's nothing. I have a natural description. That's what I talk about on my YouTube channel. Everything I believe in comes from naturalism. It minimizes, it doesn't seek to undermine or overmine idealism, but it seeks to contextualize it in what sense of the natural world we might have a conversation on. And so I'm not a huge idealist. And so in 500 years, I think I'll be dead, right? Most of us would be. Birth rate is, so Butler, I think you would know that, you know what, you can get the fuck off, first of all. Second of all, I'll answer your question. Yeah, so birth rate's a topic that's brought up to obfuscate from other issues. I've not once heard a birth rate. I've heard dozens of birth rate conversations conducted by people, arguments for the birth rate by people with over 500,000 subscribers who not once seek to evidence their claims. And so to me, this demonstrates definitively that the birth rate is a tactic used to conduct identity politics or to make people feel good. I'm going to entertain you because this affirms that your man seed needs to be someplace that it isn't going, and other men just like you deserve to have their man seed talked about. So you're upset that in the book of Genesis, God whispered and prayed and talked and spoke into your balls, right? This is in the book of Genesis. In the book of Genesis, God whispers, speaks, and talks into your ball sack. Cool. Shout out to you, Anissa. And then now in the present sense, in the present context, God isn't talking to your balls anymore, so you let men do it, right? Donald Trump can speak into your balls. Pete Hegseth can. Modi can talk to your balls, right? God speaks to people's balls. Keir Starmer can talk to your balls. All these men, Silvio Berlusconi, talk to your balls, right? He told you to trust him, right? Your pastor can talk to your balls. He can tell you to go read poetry about talking to your testicles. These are all things that are true, right? These are all things that are true. So Myron Gaines can talk to your balls. The person who sees this content and says, I don't have a job and I want to go do that, right? Cool. That is a really upstanding, really bold position. You are truly one in a million now, right? You've got a bunch of guys who have hat collections. No offense to you guys, but you guys have people with hat collections and shoe collections who are putting you up on a pedestal. You know, I've never seen Andrew Tate and thought, how do I do what he does? I've never seen an episode of Joe Rogan, and seeing an academic, a person who I know has 12 years of education experience post secondary, and thought, how do I do what they do without the post secondary education? I can't, right? That's why I have 1,600 subscribers on YouTube, because I think you guys are awesome. I think if I believe in you guys more than I believe in myself, I can talk about the things I'm interested in. I don't need to whisper truth into your testicles. I don't need to lie to men or women or people. I don't need to talk identity politics all the time. We can approach identity politics, but I still think that people that didn't want to work in a call center and saw red pill spaces and said, well, my audience has fake diamond earrings. My audience thinks it's cool. They know how to mix two drinks. They do so confidently. And I want to go mimic the success down that level, right? I want to go down the elevator to the thing that is just below. And yeah, and so this is the reality of it, right? This is actually what goes on in the world. And this is what is produced over maybe 10 years of being someone who watches whatever, being someone who watches Andrew Tate. And you say, well, okay, this is, whatever. You guys enjoy the content. It's not for me. It's not my style. But yeah, that guy doesn't think jerseys are sick, right? That is what that is. And you start at the guy who thinks it's hard or difficult or inspiring to collect basketball cards versus that is just par for the course in 2026. This fucking is weird. This is fucking fun, but this is weird as shit. This sucks, right? And so your audience is down a layer of people who cannot actually go and get a FaceTime with Andrew Tate, but that is what you're working up to and that's what you aspired to. What? That doesn't make any sense, right? That is not a person who is a pure leader. He's not civic minded. I don't believe he's a civic leader. I don't think he thinks about civilness or civicness. In any case, right? You're at This Is Earth. You seem very angry when speaking. Cool. I don't give a fuck what you think. So how about that, Juju? Hey, what's going on, JD Tux? What's up? Good to see you. The most real guy on YouTube. Cool. I guess. Yeah. You guys are going to have to give me direct donos if YouTube demonetized me. I think because I do comedy. I think because this is all performative, I'm allowed to do it. And I don't think I say anything that extreme. I've heard a lot worse, right? There's people who honestly ask if your wife should think about politics while you're having dinner, right? Can you regulate that? If you can't regulate it, how do you make sure that she's informed in the way only a woman can be informed? These are things that are said, but to say that people are not building careers on red pill thinking and Christian nationalist thinking, I'm not allowed to talk about that. That's very strange. Where's that guy that wanted to talk shit to me? Are you still in chat? What's up? You always skip the base layer and it's hard to follow despite my massive girth IQ. Cool. Yeah, I mean, girth is, I don't know for you, maybe you just are one of those guys, but I think it's day to day, who knows? Sometimes day to day, week to week, month to month. And so I do believe that instead of watching Andrew Tate, I will just say this, cock timing, right? There you guys go. Man, pretty sure. Yeah, this is a scholastic political science channel. Believe it or not, I can offer some decent references that go beyond Hegel, right? Not those sort of top level metaphysics theories, but hopefully are actual either history or sociological sort of science and the whatnot. However, people straighten that out. But here we go. Yeah, believe it or not, there we are also girth. Cool. My name is Duck. My name is Nathan. I was coerced by society to start doing YouTube. Yeah, I'm generally not that happy. I generally enjoyed reading, essaying. I enjoyed studying about politics, economics, philosophy, scholastic philosophy. I love knowing the parent domain and domain where things went. And then I love knowing about the current discussion, maybe also historically where these discussions sat and how to sort of engage further. Now I don't really have an interest in that, but I don't have an interest in anything. So I'm here with you guys. Angry is not a way to speak into. We need to talk to each other. Another fucking thing on my channel. I'm going to be gone forever. So you can take a day off. This isn't your channel. If you want to go be that way, start your own channel. Have fun. Good luck. It's a ton of fun. Tate is a magic center for the anti-feminism discussion. All right, guys. Hello, I'm from Liverpool. What's up, Michael Kelly from Liverpool? Oi. Essaying, writing essays, right? Writing essays. What's the other word for it, right? YouTube apparently doesn't like that word. But yeah. Right? What? Writing an essay. Essaying is writing an essay. I like writing essays. I have probably like some place above a 115 IQ. So I like writing. It's something that I enjoy, right? I like putting together arguments. Do you need to know my IQ? Apparently, it's whatever. It's what we're doing now. Political science, mostly political theory and a little bit of philosophy. I took a propositional logic class. This is how smart I am. What is it called? Propositional. I don't remember, but I used to write these 30 to 50 step proofs in my 300 level logic class. Hell yeah, brother. That was sick. Yeah, so I would have to figure out these 50 step logical transformations, and then I never actually just said, well, if this is sort of like computer programming and I can go back up after I do the linear step and I can go actually see how the system works, why don't I just go learn how to computer program, right? What's another $10,000 in debt if I can land a $170,000 a year job at Facebook or Google? It would have been nothing. But I did okay. I did okay back then. I got very lucky. I live in the US too. Hey, see you guys. We got 86 votes on the poll, guys. I'm going to go ahead and shut this poll down. You guys see it when I do, guys. So huge shout out to you guys for voting. 86 votes. This is representative of the internet. I'm seeing the results with you guys for the first time. So you guys should see the poll. Huge deal. Read the question and answers carefully, and I'll go through it with you guys now. So most people use freedom to support democracy. 41% of you guys said 1 to 2, which was the lowest answer on that time bound. We offered 4 options, and you guys chose the one offered at the lowest bound. So 1 to 2 said little or not at all at 41%. 6 to 7. So 23% of you guys voted 6-7. I hope that means what I think it means. Obviously, but who knows? That might mean moderate difficulty or moderately, meaning that, yeah, we will go out of our way a little bit sometimes. I would think some ways and sometimes we go out of our way to support democracy, to re-support the freedoms we value. 20% of you guys said 3 to 5, meaning we might rarely, but sometimes do go out of our way. That means maybe we are just a voter, or we ask what our church does to participate in civil society. We may ask questions such as what are the leading economic issues of the day and take some interest in that news story. However, we may not physically be out all the time, and we may also not have multiple ways in which we participate using something like citizenship or civil society or special interests or factions to somehow support the democracy, to create more freedom or support. And then 16% of you guys, if you're just tuning in, we're covering an amazing poll. We've had this running for the last 2 hours. I'm just seeing the results with you guys. And so only 16% of you guys gave the most severe answer offered, 8 to 10, meaning that either in an absolute sense or always we use freedom to support democracy. This might mean something like you yourself work for a special interest, a tax-exempt organization, as a lobbyist, as supporting special interests, either minority or majority political interests. Maybe you subscribe strongly to partisanship and you believe that there's some either constitutional or ideological or philosophical mandate to support democracy. So compared to 41% who said it's only a little bit, guys, only a little bit, your opinion is 16% said, in an absolute sense, my freedom supports a democracy. Do you see anti-natalism stuff everywhere? Sometimes. One Piece, I don't watch anime that much, to be honest. I appreciate it, though. Ayo, what's the best Halo 3 map? Are we talking... See, there's a question. You like Guardian? Cool. Yeah, hell yeah. I like Guardian. The Pit was good. Construct is a lot of fun. Yeah. Construct was maybe the least balanced Halo 3 map. I'll answer that way, right? Because back in the day, at least, now it's pretty balanced, but back in the day, the setups on Construct were really brutal. The setups were not like Guardian, right? Guardian, you would either maybe you would take a couple a little swing in the leaderboard to sort of rotate or something. Or you could just if the other team was solid, it was very difficult to break setups on that map back in the day too. So everyone played too slow. I don't remember Black Ops 1s that well. Raid was fun in Black Ops 2 and Bops 2. Can I ask a question? What should poor disabled person do to participate more in civil? Yeah, who knows? I mean, shadow used, you can always represent your own interests. I don't know, right? So if you want to talk about inclusion in physical spaces, in employment, I don't feel like it's always the case that corporate America actually accommodates disability during the interview process and beyond. So like obviously for me, economic participation is a huge one, but it's also the case that, why would someone like here's like a framing that I would offer, because I have people in my family with other long-term diseases that constitute disabilities as well, that had to retire early. They had to take medical retirements and stuff. But why is it the case that someone starting a business in the US looks at the cost of inclusion and says, well, I don't have to pay that, or morally it's not a responsibility? You know, I would just expect, even if you don't tell me, I would expect that you say, well, look, I want to be a great ecosystem player. I want to be part of the country. And so if it's not now, it's going to be in a couple of years that we can really do this the right way. And so if we have costs come up in the short term, that's what we're doing. And then we'll look at all of these questions when we can more deeply afford to contribute and be a role model. So we're going to bring the messaging in now. We're going to bring the attitude, the culture, the philosophy in now, and then we'll go out and push it out when we can afford it. It's insane to me that people see these things not as opportunities to become better investors, to better understand investment, better understand the asset classes they themselves. Like you install, let's say you upgrade or install a ramp. Very stereotypical. You update that. Wouldn't that make sense that makes the property value go up, or somehow shows you how to differently assess property? It's very stupid. Yeah, Construct was dope. What do you think of Infinite? I didn't play that much Infinite. Yeah, I didn't play that much Halo Infinite. Yeah, I wasn't very good at Halo Infinite back in the day. And so thank you so much for the wonderful answer. Love your content. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, if you guys want to share the Ducks White channel to people that like hanging out in common sense politics, this kind of stuff, thank you guys. Please do. You guys can always share the content. You guys have been really awesome the last month. I have zero complaints about the financial support or anything like that. But yeah, it's always the case. I'm in the US. I got US bills too. So I'm looking for people that can send $1, $2, $5 super chats, maybe a couple times a month or whatever. Those help huge. Those add up. Supporting your other favorite creators with gems, stuff like that too. Memberships, gifting memberships, that kind of stuff helps me build an audience. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, cool. Cool. It's dope to see more level-headed Americans. Cool. Yeah, that's good for you, right? So you get to live with that perception. Yeah, great. It's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Dave. Cool. Shout out to you, Mayor of Baltimore. That's awesome. We're going down and early around. You guys can also hype the stream by reacting, guys. I do see these, right? You guys don't like the native YouTube polls. You guys don't like that they put these things here for you. You like all the other stuff. You like all the other stuff. You guys like the stuff down to, you guys, you like your seeing the OF, the Fansly girls in your YouTube algorithm. Super convenient for you. You guys like seeing, single moms, goth mommies, dom mommies, etc. in your YouTube algorithm. Whatever it is that you guys see and you guys want to see, it's all super convenient. You guys use it, see it all the time in all ways. And yet, when YouTube puts features like polls, like reacting, that cost nothing, they have custom emojis in chat. You have the ability to look at my pricing prior to buying anything, right? You can look at the options that YouTube set up to monetarily support me. It doesn't tell you you have to or even ought to send a donation to me to buy a super chat, right? You're buying a super chat. You're buying a message on the screen for everyone to see. It looks different. You're buying a super sticker, right? You're buying a little joy. It's a really cool little digital animation that occurs far more rarely than anything in chat. So you guys don't look at that stuff. You guys don't look at these monetization features. You don't look at the free stuff. I'm clicking these buttons now, supporting hyping. I see you guys reacting, and you guys don't want to do any of that. So I'm up here. I talk about political science. I'm just playing with you guys. I talk political science. I talk philosophy. I talk scholastic politics. What can we know? What can we not know? These are all things that are really useful to us, guys. We've been going for about an hour and 43 minutes. I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. If you guys want to listen to some music, I will throw some music on. Hopefully this is muted. It is muted, guys. It is muted. Do we have an option here? Let me see. Stream settings. Enable DVR. Unlist live replay once the thing ends. No, guys, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good right now. We are at about 1,000 views, guys. Thanks so much. 30 of you guys have put a little faith and trust in me today. 32 you guys. You guys have sent me about $1 today, and I appreciate that. It goes really far, guys. I do this for free, right? I show up every day. whether or not I'm asking for money for myself or hoping you guys support other creators that day too. And so I'm going to put on a little bit of music in case you guys like that. You guys can always go tune out, check if you want more duck. You guys, hey, more ducks available on the Substack, more duck on the post features, more duck, my most recent videos, HD, it's got edits. And I'm going to put on some music and go fill my cup of coffee. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far and might come back and do a little bit more with you guys. Love you guys, right? Love it. Love you guys. Love it. Absolutely. We're going down, down in an earlier round. Digger, we're going down swinging. I've been a number one in a bullet. A loaded gun context, talking and full it. We're going down, down in an earlier round. Let's see, which one do we have? We've got this one. Cool. This is great. Cool. Cool. Let's see here, guys. We're doing a quick upgrade on the stream while I go get coffee. I'll leave this message, and can you guys just double check me? I see we got 11 folks here. Hopefully there are 11 of us here. Do you guys have better audio? Maybe might be some small popping while the mic warms up. Hey, what's up? Oh, we got UAP stuff. Do. Are you insane like me and in pain like me? Broke 100,000 something dollar bills like me. Oops. Hello, if you guys can hear me. Shout out to you guys. Good to see you. Live from Australia yet? I don't think so. Pretty sure I'm in Arizona in the US, guys. I'm in the US. Let's go. Cheers. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Awesome. Good to see everyone. How do I look, guys? Hopefully okay. A tribe called respect, right? A tribe called respect, guys. We're moving over. We're moving over slightly on the left side, left-hand side. Past the Dutchie, brother. You guys go. What's up? Great to see you guys. Man, dude, I'm not trying to say I'm looking a king today. I'm not trying to say I'm trying to look a king, guys. I'm trying to say I'm trying to look to the nines, though, right? I want to be where I am. I hope the same for you guys, too. We have a little music going. Hopefully, if you guys can hear me, just drop a peace sign, click that say hi button in chat. If you guys want to shout out or anything like that, shout out to you guys. I'm not famous. I'm on this side of the camera, though, so I can do that. We're Political Science Philosophy Channel. My name's Duck. I just got a small cup of strong coffee. And yeah, for you guys that are living the perfect life, the dream life, we are on internet time, internet space today. And yeah, the goal of the channel here is to have fun, right? It's an entertainment comedy channel. Come on, Duck, y'all change my Instagram. I don't want to explain life like it's ever changing. Yeah, it is. It isn't. I got my college degree back in 2007. That's when I started learning stuff. So in 2007, that's when I started learning about the world. It's, you know, after high school, you know, whatever. You take the math classes, geometry, you go beyond that. I got my degree. I started getting educated back then. And so now it's 2026, and I still take the chance to learn with you guys, learn what I don't know, what I don't do well, and to kind of catch these sort of small aspects where it's like, well, cool, I do or I don't get to be like this in my own life, the way I want to be, the way I don't want to be, you know. Man, I act out. I'm my own worst enemy sometimes, guys. I'm my own worst enemy, guys. I love throwing down for the family, though. So, you know, you are setting up your Instagram, boy. Just, you know, if you actually have that dominance factor to you, right? Not talking about alpha male, but you're saying, hey, you know, when I have something important to say worth saying and my audience wants to hear it, you can go say it on Instagram. Cool. Not everybody here uses social media, though, right? I don't have Instagram. I don't use 90%, 99% of social media. I use YouTube. I'm on YouTube and Substack. So whatever you guys want to talk about, say here, do whatever you want to coach me up, teach me how to throw it down. Please do. Please do. You look like a dream of 1960s Nixon and other stuff. Oh, man. Woo. You know, Nixon's favorite part of the United States was this little island called Guam, right? Half of what Nixon did that was bad and made people want to get him out of office, that actually led to Watergate, came out of Guam, right? So Guam is this little island that the U.S. said, hey, we can shuttle some nuclear weapons out to test them, just to test them. We can also put little air bases here. And Nixon actually used that air base illegally without the knowledge of Congress, right? So arguably deeply exceeding like a police, you know, Gulf of Tonkin, and deeply exceeding sort of war powers resolutions, you know, just what's in the Constitution, to illegally bomb Cambodia and Vietnam. So the huge problem going forward was that you had unexploded munitions. You know, those old things, there weren't electronic timers on bombs, so some would just sit there. And then obviously you also had long-term health effects of things like Agent Orange. Agent Orange was meant to erase your home from where it was before, guys. And so this was all stuff that was really damaging, really dangerous. And yeah, people would want to think about this stuff in a profound way. What do you think about Argentina? Yeah, I don't have opinions about Argentina. Carlos from Argentina, shout out to you. Yeah, I think I believe in global citizenship. I believe Latin America is a huge part of the story of democracy, the nation building efforts stemming from colonialism, taking into account both the rapid westernization as well as the rapid sort of inclusion of differing ideas. You know, the geopolitical story of having border disputes, which in a place like the United States didn't happen. But like, if I recall, didn't Chile and Argentina, you guys had border disputes, fights back in the 1930s, 40s, like actual wars or needing to do diplomacy. And hey, what's going on, Panelverse? Good to see you. Hey, what's going on, Connor? And so, yeah, I think it's important that what you ultimately know about politics, your political opinion sits alongside mine. Just because I'm in a rich Western nation like the US doesn't make my opinion more valuable. And yeah, you know, it seems to split the difference. Some people would say, why would you even assume that? And yeah, who knows? You may enjoy checking out my most recent blog. Obviously, I'm not going to take this opportunity to advertise it. But yeah, thinkers do. It's a popular question in political science to ask about why some ideas seem to get more steam, more attention on the international stage, why some issues get more attention on the domestic level as well. Hey, what's going on, Cowboys panel? Great to see you. Hopefully you're having a great day. Oh my grr, duh. Oh my grr, right? Oh my grr. Let's learn something, folks. Who knows? Let's have a great conversation. What's going on, Roberto Lopez? Hey, shout out to you. Hi to you as well. Hi to you as well. Yeah. Yo, what's going on, Bubba? Hey, Bubba. Hey, Pod. Great to see you. I just filled up my coffee cup personally. What do you got going on? What you talking about? What do you think of iLadies? I don't know what iLadies are. Like e-girls? Are you talking about e-girls? Are you talking about like the phenomenon, like the old phenomenon that we put our aesthetic self, our aesthetic, not the selfless self, we put our aesthetic self on the internet? If you're talking about e-girls, I don't know what iLadies are, but yeah, whatever. I come out here, I make a fool of myself about stuff. I do comedy that maybe isn't like the joke I write for myself or the joke that I would tell a significant other if I was like, hey, I want to show you this thing I wrote. I'm really proud of it. And I know I'm being annoying. I know I'm being a diva or devo, whatever. And so I think e-girls and other categories of content creators, yeah, it's a place to hang out, a place to chill. Some guys either like the funness of it or whatever. Guys, girls, you like the funness of it. People like whatever. If you're younger, I'm 36, but yeah, if you're an 18 or 19-year-old guy and you still think it's sexy, an 18 or 19-year-old girl is being playful with you, cool. Go watch e-girls, right? Go watch gaming channels. Go watch the sort of IRL style streams and stuff like that too, guys. Nothing much, just watching the stream. Cool. But I don't have a deep opinion about it. I'm getting a bunch of blocked messages. So iLadies, what? Okay, cool. I don't know what that means. Okay, cool. I understand. I got it. You don't have to say it more than once. Yeah, I got it. But thank you. Yeah, you can say it more than once, but it also, that spams, right? The difference between me saying, I don't like the thing you said once, or saying that you're prescribing, you're fixing me, you're telling me something I don't know. The difference between that and you repeating the same thing is like, there's a night and day difference, I guess. I don't know. Not really my point of view, but yeah, who knows? Should we switch up the music a little bit, guys? I think it sounds decent. I don't know what that is either. Is this all going to be like that? If you have to say you're smart, you're not smart. Yeah, great point. Smart people rarely talk about being smart. Yeah. But that's also, right, you know, there's a difference between someone who's not providing evidence or an explanation for what they're talking about. They're not being honest, or they're coercive when they share it. They're saying you have to identify my own subjectivity and you're not an expert. I'm also not an expert, and they're not forthcoming about that, right? I could say something like, if I said, look, I'm not an expert in political science, but I had a 4.2 GPA. I was a junior fellow. I was the president of the philosophy club. And I was part of the honors college. So I had a real 4.2 GPA with honors course loads and plus minus scales. So I'm not an expert because I have an undergraduate degree, but when I go back and I'm 36 now and I say, yeah, I've stochastically or intermittently kept up on some research. I went beyond my courseware when I was younger and I go beyond now. And yeah, and just from a raw processing power, I'm not going to understand the top of the mountain, but my IQ is about 130. So I could have, in theory, gone and been predictably successful in an MA program, an MS program, or and possibly, who knows, whatever. It would have maybe been a stretch, or I would have had to find support to get a PhD, but I'm that smart, right? I'm that smart that I was at the top of my class. So I don't feel like saying that, well, I'm not an expert, but here's why I'm careful with what I tell you and what I believe. That's different than someone like Charlie Kirk saying, well, Charlie believes in Charlie and Charlie believes in other people. Donald Trump believes in Donald Trump more than he believes in other people, but he believes in you too. Well, this is a dumb person, right? These are two dumb people. So the top of the mountain doesn't go above here, right? These are people that have sub 100 IQs. They're not intelligent, and they're also not caring. If you want to say why they're both dumb as well as just average IQ, they're in the middle of the band. It's because they're not caring. They're not nice people. They celebrate cruelty. They celebrate conspiracy theories. They believe that it's better for them and worse for you, and that's okay if it's better for them because they can help you. So it's very stupid. Charlie based his points on facts. So now I know you're dumb. Get the fuck off my channel. There you go. That's pretty easy. Hey, what's going on, Anna? Nice to see you. Happy day. We chilling out here today. My name is Nathan. Online, I go by Duck. It's great to see you guys. Yeah, Shout out to you guys in chat. And so, yeah, when you ask what's the best someone can accomplish, maybe, like, let me say, let's just say, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. I don't want you to think Duck or Nathan. I don't want you to think the guy on our screen's that smart, but I want you to think that you can learn something or develop an opinion. You can update a belief or you can reject the information for good reason. It's worth considering when I provide a source that's either peer reviewed or just on social media. I say, hey, this is about the culture, folks. Take 5 minutes, take 2 minutes, read it. Here's the blip. Consider it, or just say ha 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 and get it out of here, right? That's how I'm going to treat you guys, right? And so from my perspective, I don't think that you can update a belief based on things that Charlie Kirk said, right? Charlie Kirk didn't provide evidence. He offered subjective like opinions, things that like MLK doesn't matter, right? How can that be wrong? Well, it can be wrong because a priori you are a dipshit, right? The Protestant ethic for Turning Point USA was that God set you apart to be particularly stupid in all cases. So it's like Calvinism. Calvinism says that when you are defending the patriarchy and Christian nationalism, it's just the case that God made it so you are so stupid, and that's how that story is told. It's how the story of Nazis were told. It's how the story of the fascists in Italy were told. It's how the story of great empires who fell to conquest even after many years was told. Eventually, you suffer from corruption. You suffer from iniquity and foolishness. You don't provide any evidence. Go read my blog. You can go watch videos, ask where you want evidences. But yeah, I would say I have a higher standard of scholasticism than you do. And that standard of scholasticism can also be about political discussion, and it can be about forthcomingness. So if you want to push forward and say that you have evidences for your arguments or points, be my guest. Why don't you start with deep state conspiracy theories? Is that still around in the GOP? Those are still GOP voters. January 6th conspiracy voters, you seem insecure. You seem like you either don't like U.S. politics or you're uneducated. It's one or the other, right? I'm not sure what it is that you want to talk about, but yeah, I would say whatever you have, right? I don't know what it is that you want to bring up here with me, but saying I seem insecure doesn't actually talk about the issue. And yeah, if you're helping with the channel, you're fixing it. Be more specific, right? I take feedback seriously, so be more specific what you want me to fix. If you're looking at me and you're saying, well, this guy's not the best at social media in the world, right? He's not in that class, that tier, whatever it is. Cool, you're probably right, actually. I'm not trying to be. What do I think about UFOs? UFOs are sick. Yeah, UFOs are sick. You seem nervous. Cool, you seem like you're off my channel, so there you go, buddy. Very creepy person. Very creepy statements. Jesus Christ. Contrarian trolls. No, they're not. That's not contrarian. That is, someone again who has a low IQ, is uncaring, and is contrarian, right? That is, it doesn't need to be here. Do you think crypto will take over one day? I don't know where that question would come from, Phil. I think if you want to turn your Bitcoin into cash and send it to me, you're welcome to do so to support the channel. But yeah, the fact that digital currencies can potentially be centralized enough that they're efficient enough to scale to the scale of fiat systems. The fact that we're looking at the developing world, and some people are saying, well, digital fiats are part and parcel with some small challenges of development without being global. So I would say if you narrow it back down to what cryptocurrency is, which is a non-physical currency, a digital currency that's secure, then yeah, cryptocurrencies will continue to be important. But I don't see why cryptocurrency would be a political priority. I don't see why cryptocurrency, digital currencies that still require a large centralized body to administer would somehow be more efficient. And yeah, I think when you can't even, Phil, to be honest, when you can't even state the question about do you think cryptocurrencies will take over, and either I'm putting my subjective beliefs onto you or you actually don't understand what you're talking about, that shows me that, yeah, cryptocurrency is an important issue to understand. But yeah, go get data that's not from exchanges. Go get data that's not new white papers or ICOs. Go get data that's not about Donald Trump and his crony capitalism.
very crony capitalism. This isn't underground Pablo Escobar stuff. It's very popular. And so, yeah, go see where cryptocurrency is actually out in the world and ask if it's solving an ethical or moral challenge too. Is it supporting theories that support these types of things? Is it Singer-esque? Is it like Peter Singer? Easy to approach, easy to understand. If only a small number of people understand your ideology about cryptocurrency as well, I would say, well, that's a reason to be distrustful in the first place and perhaps not invest more time or information into it. You love fish? Cool. Could you say, you could say, oh, cool. Yeah. Hey, there you go. Yeah. I'm not sure what would make you a fishy boy for liking fish, but okay, cool. A huge portion of the population won't tolerate it. They provide it as useless trash when forced accounts to shut down. Yeah, I mean, to say that the delays and costs, the transaction costs and delays, and reliance on big banks for better or worse, the pros and cons, the actual changes that have been produced over hundreds of years and what we expect into the future, taking this all into account, you know, you can say, well, those costs and transaction costs, people have tolerated them, and 99% of people still tolerate them for the reason that big banks are generally stable. They produce maybe more recognizable or understandable connections to capital, to debt, to fiscal and monetary systems, to international systems. And yeah, and the problems can still be said to exist outside of JP Morgan Chase to a large extent, or Goldman Sachs. Okay. Hey, what's up, Bazinga 1000? I don't know. I don't have a more exciting solution. I wish I had a better day for you, but I don't. Hey, there we go. What's this? Cool. Awesome. Coming in too late. Thank you. Appreciate you. If you want to come back, talk politics, feel free, brother. I want to join a commune for a summer. Cool. Yeah. Sounds like a cool experience. Sounds like a cool experience. Commune or co-opt? Co-op. What? I mean, that seems very all-encompassing. It seems very all-encompassing to say, yeah, cool. Whatever you think. I don't know why that would constitute responsibility, but okay. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, free rider. Good luck, freedom rider. Theoretical physicist. Yeah, I'm 36. You're a 45-year-old unk. I'm a 36-year-old unk. Shout out. I don't know why YouTube blocked that message, but you're back on screen, buddy. Hey, buddy, you're back on screen with me. Shout out to you guys. Owie. Whoa. We'll make sure we got the right screen set up, guys. Shout out to you guys. My name is Nathan Duck. We let the mic get in the way here a little bit. Shout out to you guys. Whoa, look at that huge difference, guys. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Slide, slide, slide. Hell yeah. You're 18? Cool. Yeah, awesome. Enjoy life, man. Any what you got? School, work, reading, etc. Life, social media. Hell yeah. Shout out to you. Hell yeah. Physics. Is that a YouTube name, or do you actually like physics and stuff? Physics is cool. I took a huge Kamala today, and what? Cool. Hey, Palad, good to see you. We had such a good yesterday, bro. We bonded. We bonded yesterday. And now there you are, man. There you are, dude. Oh, man. Woo! Let's go, everybody. I guess. I don't know. Bazinga says they audit JP Morgan. That's cool. or financial. Are you a CFA, a certified financial analyst, or something in line with that? Got your certs? You got your certs, baby? All that kind of stuff. Hell yeah, brother. Making money makes that world go round. You guys know that. Hell yeah. I'm on the DGen side. I used to have my certs. I did a little bit of Lean Six Sigma back in my day. What else? I took a sales course. I hated that stuff. I liked process efficiency and process improvement. That was my jam back in the day. It's a cool backdrop for a lot of stuff. And yeah, people say, none really. I vape. Yeah, just honestly, I vape. I drink coffee every day. I drink coffee. I occasionally have energy drinks now. Yeah, as a 36-year-old, it's kind of a bummer, right? I used to pop an energy drink almost every day going to work. And I don't do that anymore. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do pre-workouts and stuff like that when I go work out. You guys can see I'm pretty small. I'm not trying to be big because I'm trying to take care of my body. I got old enough that, whatever. Some people say whatever, but yeah, cool. Yeah, same, So for old folks like me, old fogies, hey, Zuck, what's going on, brother? He also needs a Slim Jim in one bite. Eats. Yeah, cool. Shout out to you, Zuck. Yeah, what's up? Hey, what's going on, Sensimilia? Good to see you. Shout out to you. Hell yeah, brother. Hey, Sizzle Moon Song, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, it's been a while. When was the last time you was here, brother? Brother? Yeah, you're a moderator and you don't even have the bell on, brother. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever you want to do. We've done a lot of stuff since you've been here last. Hell yeah. Davos. Oh, man. Yeah, last time I saw you was around Davos month. What was that, February? Hopefully you've been good. I've been personally on the YouTube grind, blogging a bunch, still fighting the system, powers that be, etc. So, yeah, good to see you. Oh, shit, dude. Shit, person. That's crazy. I hope you're okay. That's crazy. Yeah. Shout out to you, dude. Yeah, everybody, say quick thoughts, prayers for Sizzle Moon Song, You got a GoFundMe link or anything like that I can post or whatever, let me know. But hopefully you're here and yeah, hopefully you're doing well. Cool. Yeah, hey, shout out to you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, crazy, dude. Man. Yeah, guys, hopefully you guys take that to be a real life attitude adjuster. I'll just say this too, right? I'm not going to over focus or be weird, but yeah, in our own life as a 36-year-old guy, I've had a chance to go back and adapt and adjust small aspects of my own life, reflect on my own experience, things I wish I did or did differently, or, taking inventory of what I knew at the time and what I didn't know. And so, yeah, absolutely, we hear about somebody in the Ducks Y community who's sick right now. We hope that person gets better. And yeah, so absolutely. They may have blocked you. If or hid you or something at some other point in time, but I can see both of you. So yeah, Sizzle's a mod, so they should be able to see your messages too still. Yeah. Yeah. Ow. Hey, what's going on, Rain from the US? Good to see you. Shout out. Good to see you. Welcome to Ducks Y. Oh, man. I'm from Arizona. Yeah, Southwest United States. Hey, hopefully you're okay, Sizzle. Yeah, hopefully that's my heart and respect goes out to you as well. Yeah, I do a lot of unhealthy stuff. My diet's not that great. I eat a plant-based diet, vegan diet, and yeah, so I believe in that deeply, and I vape as well. Yeah. Yep. Saw the alien stuff from Torrance, California. Cool. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. You look like that and you vape. Yep. Cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. 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 Aesthetics. Yeah. I think it's what's behind people, not what's in front of them. Yeah. You're looking well though, Ducky. Cool. Yeah. Shout out to you. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. I'm a Filipino immigrant here in the US. Cool. Yeah. Shout out to the Pinoy friends and family. Shout out to anyone integrating into the United States and stuff like that. What you think about the alien stuff? It's wild, isn't it? Yeah, the alien stuff is really wild. I guess I talked about how I believe most of it's conspiracy theories. So I think it's interesting to think about the Bayesian prior that, if you need a banana for scale, is like, let's picture the mesh on my hat is the probability aliens exist in the universe. And so you can imagine a hat much bigger than this, the size of the state of Arizona, the size of the state of Texas, the size of your country. And the probability aliens exist is probably about the size of one of these mesh holes on this hat out of all of the possibilities. So a much bigger hat. And so the fact that NASA or the government's talking about UAPs or UFOs with no evidence they exist doesn't change the fact that the first probability is still true, right? This is called Bayesian inference. So you would say that, well, the probability that aliens are true, you can talk about aliens all you want, but this doesn't actually write over, or it's not greater than, bigger than the probability aliens exist in the first place. So you have to take both probabilities. So you see these government files and say, well, there's a 1% chance aliens are true. And then let's just, for example, say there's a 1% chance aliens exist. So now you're talking about a 1 in 10,000 chance. But in reality, the first probability is much smaller. The chance aliens either exist or aliens exist and have come to Earth is probably like 1% of 1% of 1% itself. So you're actually talking about a 1 in a billion probability that these documents mean anything. I would never spend time on that. I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't consider it that deeply. Your data is wrong. Thanks, Rick Young. FYI, excess. Yeah. So Schrodinger's alien 5 of 5 on the memo or task or whatever. Yep. Yeah. Shout out. Schrodinger's alien. They have pictures, videos, and countless documents proving it, but yeah, they could have made it all up. They did say there will be undeniable evidence soon. Yeah, Pete Hegseth is also wasting time when aliens apparently exist, starting political fights and accusing Mark Kelly. Hey, thanks, Andy Lima. Huge $1, huge blue super chat coming in, huge buck coming in. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much to Andy as well. Thanks, chat, for being here. Yeah, when you guys send these super chats and a star coming in, we got stream hype, we got money coming. We got tangible dollars on tangible dollars coming through. Thanks so much. Yeah, those small super chats throughout the week, those stream hypes, those things add up to me, guys. I love seeing them. They're huge for me, huge for the channel. We're not like we do. I hope I provide some value, entertainment value, as well as some educational value, entertainment value for you guys. Clutch, let's go, baby. Shout out, Clutch. Boom. Chick, chick. Vroom. We got the chili powder coming in too. Shout out. Thanks so much. Yeah. Yeah, this stream hype, this attitude, this kind of stuff's huge for me, guys. Thank you. Your favorite wrestler in WWE? I haven't watched WWE in forever, right? I'm an old person. I haven't really kept up with wrestling or sports all that much. So my favorite wrestlers back in the day were Kane and Undertaker. I like Triple H. I like Triple H back in the day too. Yeah, Chris Jericho. That story was pretty crazy. Chris Jericho, Canadian guy who ended up kind of snapping and more or less an act of violence against a woman, against his spouse. Ended up really bad, guys. Like and subscribe. Yeah, thanks so much, Sizzle. Appreciate it. But it's literally all the stuff we've seen online in our TV and entire lives. Alien vids and Bigfoot, and talk of a lot of it then. Yeah. I mean, I think sci-fi is awesome. Our curiosity about what's out there is awesome. And so having our cultural narratives and also being able to vet things probabilistically, wondering what the actual chance or likeliness that something is true, is a great way to update beliefs. And it shouldn't be paralyzing, but it should also instill a sense of respect. If you don't know how a volcano works and you saw a volcano erupt once, you would wonder, how does that volcano work? Should I be afraid of it? Should I give it supernatural significance? And so saying that we now can know sort of how volcanoes work, we don't know exactly how they work. So appreciate what we don't know about volcanoes and about volcanism on the earth. But right, volcanism is not talking about aliens. It's talking about volcanic activity, saying that, yeah, whatever. I'm saying that we are geothermically active, and this can result in the melting of rocks and having all different types of fluid dynamics on various levels of our environment. It's just a humbling statement that you need doctors to study this, and this is relevant to people all over the world. Yeah. Thank you, Sizzle. I appreciate you. Name 10 of Diddy's songs. Past the Cavassier. Everybody singing now. Past the Cavassier. Is that Diddy? This dude, definitely, they are the type of guy who has pepperoni nipples. Cool. Thanks, Doom Turkey. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's cool. That's fun. But yeah. So it is funny. Yeah. But no, when we think of we sort of think, or we are as, people that can think in terms humbly, as well as we can think of what we maybe wish to accomplish, want to accomplish, all this kind of stuff, whatever, So yeah. But it's literally all the stuff we see online and TV and Bigfoot and talk. Yeah. So you guys already have the answer, right? You have something to think about. Almost Ty mentioned something. Guys, we're not trying to create like an authoritarian space. This is about free speech. But guys, you have a couple different resources in chat. I'm not saying listen to me, but you have a couple resources in chat too. And yeah, cool. So, and if you guys want to trust the government, you want to watch a congressional testimony on UAPs, that's cool. If you want to believe it, act like you believe it, or you want to also explain where you're skeptical, you want to explain who you think might think UAPs are true, who that would involve in reality. Are you seeing that motion? These are all things that can form political beliefs about aliens and UAPs. But these maybe aren't the most deeply held beliefs that we have. Hey, my man, how are you doing today? Hope everything is good. Hey, what's going on, Cresso? Great to see you in chat. Jesus loves you so much. Hey, Natasha, nice to see you in chat. Yeah, repent soon. Yeah, I've been a dirty person, right? Dirty political scientist, etc., and the whatnot. I'm a good Gerstian man. Here, I'll show you guys. Natasha, let me give you I got an emoji for you. Here's my good Gerstian man. Here's my MAGA hat. All right. Whoops. There's a Gerstian. And then let me show you. I got my MAGA hat too, right? Here's for, pray for me. There's me. You can pray for my iconography. You can pray for me anytime. I'm good. Yeah, my grandpa was in the good Gerstian, man. He was a good guy down in the road. My grandpa enlisted in the military workforce back in the day. So we got Gerstian, chat. We got chat. My teeth gonna fall out before, it's my time. But a good Gerstian man, frog licking, hope, and all this other crap. Hell yeah, brother. What are we looking like today? Who knows? Dude, you have a southern, I'm an impressa, right? I'm impressed. An impressa is a symbol, iconography. Hey, yeah, Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump will play tricks. They'll tell you that a manila folder is like or as an artifact, right? It is the thing that is a UAP, right? So because they control not information, not something you can form a belief off of, but they have a manila folder about UAPs or about the truth about Jeff Epstein and his actual non-existent relationship with Trump, right? They were friends, nothing more. But they'll tell you that because they have the artifact that represents their goodness, they also have a source of truth. So this is a form of authoritarianism control. It's dishonesty. It's not actually how someone forms beliefs. Wait for Congress to investigate it. Wait for Congress to invite third-party outside sources when it's appropriate to do so. Wait for them to hold more public or make publicly available the same evidence and documents they're looking at without conclusions drawn on top of them, right? Do not trust someone that says, I have a picture. Do not trust someone that says, I have a manila folder. UAP and Epstein's are connected, bro. Don't you see? because they're both dishonest lies, right? I don't know if it's something else, but yeah, your opinion, yeah, I mean, go on, bro, go on, whatever you want to say. If you say something else, cool. Yeah. Oh, whoops. Whoops. Everybody's singing now past the Cavassier. I wouldn't consider it twice, let alone waste an amazing American system on them acting fools. Sizzle, be quiet. Don't take the chat hostage. You can come back in one day. One day. Although I do understand the decision to hide someone on the channel, please don't tell people. From my impression, I'll talk about this quickly. Sizzle's a valuable part of the community. And additionally, Sizzle Moonsong has been simply offering some guidance to gain some value, entertainment value, maybe have a connection with someone without making a connection. And so, yeah, to judge them and say they're a bad mod, I wouldn't understand that. And it's also not your place to do so, right? You're allowed to offer your opinion. And in this case, I think a 24-hour timeout, if you want to come back, talk politics, philosophy, check out the social media, check out my videos, you can do so, right? But we're focusing too on what good is any of that if we can't foster connections and stuff like that. You know, we're a very boring channel today. Yeah, very boring channel, and that's cool. I don't mind. My most recent poll as well, I'd recommend, my most recent poll, I talk about civil society, about building trustworthiness, right? We don't trust, YouTube is not the final arbiter. This YouTube channel and any YouTube is not the final arbiter of having trust in society, trust in each other, mutual respect. However, it's the case that you can either help or hurt or break that by being awful, rude, mean, judgmental to each other without knowing one another. So that's my very simple opinion, and I ain't saying more. I ain't going beyond it, guys. Yeah. Ooh. All right. I'm telling myself a false narrative in my head that I got to save some matches, maybe for a stream later tonight or whatever. So I might sign off. You guys have been really awesome. Thanks for the support. Thanks for all the chat messages, guys. If you guys are curious how we did this stream, I'll go through and look at one YouTube feature. Let's go look at a couple small things here. Whoops. Are you here? Let's look. So we had up to 30 people on the stream at one time today, 26 technically, 26 on stream. At our busiest, we were getting 14 messages in a minute. So that's awesome. One message every 4 minutes, and then a lot of chiller sort of sessions, times, etc. And yeah, that's awesome. And so we've averaged over the course of the stream. I don't know why this isn't really the right thing, but yeah, we've averaged somewhere between like 3 to 5 messages a minute, which is awesome for us, guys. So thanks for being super hyper engaged. Sensimilia, Sizzle, obviously. Hey, respect to you. Shout out. Anything, any sort of support I can provide. Obviously, anything. Let me know. Obviously, and stuff like that too. Yeah, anything really. And Almost High. Good to see you. Thanks again for stopping by. What do the good stats change? How is it beneficial? Well, I mean, it's just bad for me if people like. It's bad for DucksY. It's bad for DucksY. It's bad for the YouTube community if we're getting too many messages, too many people just bouncing out, too many people staying that don't need to be here. Right. So too much success, too little success is bad. I don't know how it actually stacks onto reaching 1 million subscribers or whatever. But yeah, just in general, I know that today, if I look at the actual outcome of the streams, guys, let's look at views, right? So we've gotten 13, DucksY's gotten 1,300 views alongside YouTube. So DucksY, the channel on YouTube, has gotten 1,300 views. This actually means that we've showed up in the algorithm, like not a lot, but like, what is that? That's like 30,000 times, right? We've gotten somewhere between 10 to 30,000 impressions to get 1,300 views that stay. So so to me, I just don't want to be wasteful. I also want to be respectful that that's how it works. People can get exposed to what we're doing here, my personality, that kind of stuff. And yeah, and I don't have to have an opinion on it. You guys know that, right? You guys know that I'm just like a lot of other content creators, guys. Yeah, you know, it's about the story, it's about the experience for you guys more than anything, for me as well, right? If I'm not having, like, this is as honest as I can be. If I'm not having fun and you guys aren't having fun, why am I here? You know, rubbish talking. Hey, what's up, RX Wolf? Good to see you. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. Whatever. I say this stuff. I guess I'll start saying this at the end of the stream, or I'll do posts on the channel eventually with like dashboards. Right. So if you guys are thinking I'm making $1 million, or I can even keep my bills paid on YouTube, you'd be a little right, a little wrong, mostly wrong about that. And I also want to be totally non-deceptive about just how much exposure I'm actually getting. If you're concerned, if I'm being forthcoming about my own intentions, if you're thinking the content is condescending or it's reaching too far, you're saying, hey, you're talking to me like I'm some super genius or I'm an idiot, and I don't want either of those things. It's like, cool. Well, hey, there's another way to look at it. Because you guys, if you guys do YouTube, you know how it is. If you guys don't, now you can see a little bit of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the stream off, guys. Thanks so much. Yeah, hey, thanks so much, Sizzle. You've been a big part of that. I appreciate you. Appreciate you hugely. And yeah, yeah. So it's just at Sizzle Moonsong, at Sizzle Moonsong. And yeah, if you go through, whatever, I'm not going to go through and go deeper than just the public display name here. But yeah, if you go check your block list, it says at Sizzle Moonsong, and that's what I see on my side. So you can unblock them. They can check if they've got you blocked, etc. If you guys want to figure that out. And yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, and Almost High again. Like if you guys want to chat with me on the social posts, keep it on YouTube, keep it on the Substack, that type of deal. That's about where I am, right? I'm not doing a ton of Discord. I'm not getting into those sort of more personal one-to-one spaces. But yeah, anywhere on YouTube I am, you guys can be as well. I think that's a good standard for internet safety. It's also a good standard for, we've got members of the DucksY community. I'm obviously not going to call out specifics, but there are people who have more personal brands, right? Whether they are IRL content creators, they're on Twitch, they're going to conferences, advertising where they are, right? They're not doxing themselves. They're saying, here's the event I'm at. And then there's also people who do things like OF and Fansly who may be subscribed to DucksY. So I just want to adopt the community standards, right? We can be a fun, entertaining place and also say, hey, just talk to me here. And this is actually how it should be in general, right? You can go beyond if you want to be a little contrarian, libertarian, whatever the fuck it is. Cool. Have fun. Good luck with that. That's kind of stupid, but have fun, right? That's very stupid, but have fun. And so here we are. But yeah, I want to be able to have conversations too. Yeah. Yeah. DucksY community also. Yeah. You guys are all part of the community. You guys can also do posts, right? If you guys don't do shorts videos, you might get started. You maybe occasionally you can tag me on shorts. If you guys want to talk to me on YouTube, YouTube is also designed as a social media website. So you guys can tag me on videos. You can tag me in descriptions, tag me in comments. I'll see it. I'll come see anything you tag me on. This is a small channel, so I'm not overwhelmed by messages, and I want that. So if you guys can post in my community, right? If you go to the community tab, you can create a post for other DucksY. You guys can leverage the same DucksY audience I have, right? So I have 1,700 people. If you guys see the post history, guys, we're getting 15 or 20 likes. That's really huge for a channel as small as ours, right? Sometimes 20 plus people are liking posts, 10 plus comments. You guys can leverage that audience to share what you think. No problem. So you guys can post in the DucksY community, use it as social media, tag me, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and that's it. I'm done self-promoting. That's a lot of self-promotion, but go support your favorite creators. Yeah, and welcome to welcome to the rest of the day, guys. It's Monday. I'm logging off. Have a good night. I'm dropping out, and we'll pick it up later. See you guys. Thank you so much.